done so much shit since last time I seen you.
What do you mean? What I done?
In your life, dog. I've just been watching you from afar.
So give me your impression of me then. I'm
you're
fascinated.
amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, everybody I told I'm doing the show told me not to do it.
Why?
They hate you.
What for?
Because they hate people that win.
Yeah, I don't get why so many people hate me.
Stephen A. Smith, they hate him.
Oh, okay.
Charlemagne, they hate him.
Right.
I'm just noticing the trend that people don't like people that have strong opinions.
And people don't like people that they're like in competition with, although they'll never like agree that
They don't like Vlad. I like Vlad too.
Yeah, with Vlad. But I'm saying like everybody makes content now. And so everybody looks at like the people who are big doing content, and it's just like this weird hate thing.
I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that, man.
Because, you know, we'll talk about it on the thing.
We already on the thing.
Oh, we started?
Yeah, I'll count it.
I'm proud of you. Because it was a time where we was like, I wasn't your manager, but it was something we were discussing. You remember that?
Uh-huh.
Yes. When you came over to the house and I was managing. Well, that's it. I don't like the word manager. I feel like manager is like oppressive.
Who are you managing?
I was working with Cole.
Right.
So we was partners. I don't like the word manager because it doesn't feel like
accurate or
it's not a proper description. But me and you were going to work together too because I just see how far you've come since then, and it's amazing, man. You are
actually, before we even like fully get into your story and everything, though, I remember that time period being at your spot downtown.
Yes,
and I was getting canceled for the first time.
Absolutely.
Real bad. And
you were panicking.
I was depressed.
You were panicking. I called Atlantic for you.
You did?
Yes, because you had this situation at Atlantic.
Yeah.
And I made some calls for you. I was like, dog, you okay?
Okay, yeah, because you told me, you're like, listen, like, I know people with serious cases facing Fed time.
Yes.
Like you're having a bad media cycle. Exactly. Like you're gonna be all right.
And it's so crazy to see how much you panicked then and the shit that you've overcome now.
Yeah. And now I feel like invincible to that sort of feeling that I had then of like, oh no, everybody's talking shit about me.
You don't give a f. Your guy came in and was like, I hate giving the boss bad news. And I said, man, Adam's been through. I guess you lost part of a stream or something that you did. Oh. And he was like, he hated telling you that. I said, man, Adam gonna get through that. That's nothing. That's nothing. That shit just fall right off his back.
Nah, yeah, that's real. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get that stream though. He's talking about the 24-hour stream. We're gonna save it. We're gonna find a way.
Okay, well there it is. You found a way.
But in case you ever do an extremely long stream, don't stream 24 hours straight on YouTube. You gotta like cut it into like 12-hour chunks, basically.
So, you know, I got my podcast, The Third Verse. Yeah. I'm just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't people just go live? It makes no sense to just put your content up. You should just go live all the time because the money is significantly different.
Well, okay, so if you, like the method that Vlad has kind of like figured out, and it's kind of the one we use, which is like, let's pre-record a podcast and let's cut it into clips, and the members who are paying whatever $5 a month can watch the whole thing ahead of time, or in this case watch it live, and then like the clips themselves, like trickling those out, it kind of like helps you to make more money in
long
total
term.
Yeah, because like if we just like live streamed those Crip Mac interviews, I mean, the problem is that he's going to swear a million times, so the whole live stream is going to get demonetized. And for us, like putting out the clips one by one allows us to kind of stretch that content out, and then also really incentivize people to become members, you know?
So it's a combination of both. You'll do a long live and then you cut it up in clips and post it.
Well, so this is live right now, but it's only live for the members. So it's going to be like a much smaller amount of people watching it. And then for everybody else, we just like cut it up and like put those clips out kind of slowly, which I feel like it does at the end of the day. But then there's like such an appeal to doing stuff live too, just because that engages the audience a lot, you know?
I don't want to like I'm interviewing you, but
no, it's fine.
How long have you been in the content game?
In total, well, really, like I started a blog in 2006 that was BMX oriented for 10 years. And then from there, start interviewing BMX riders. And then that kind of transforms into rappers. So No Jumper, 11 years. Content in general, 20 years.
Incredible. So when people look at you, I think, and a lot of the people that do content, they believe that you just came from nowhere, like, oh, it just got started. That's why you're successful. But I know you've been doing it a very long time.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into it, but you was the first person to post Diego.
Lil Xan.
You was the first person to post that shit. And I seen it on your shit.
Yeah?
And that's how I started rocking with him.
Yeah, you rocking with him was what made me realize, like, you missed out on the vision. Because, like, I had known him and just felt like, oh, this kid is, like, funny and entertaining. but musically it wasn't really impressive to me. And then I was like, he seems like a handful. And then I realized you signed him, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should have been more willing to deal with a handful.
Well, I think with him, I just fell in love with who he was. I fell in love with the family, and DJ Fu brought him to me.
Shout out DJ Fu. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing. Okay. And he brought him to me, and I was like, I wanted a Hispanic rapper.
Yeah.
I just had been going to shows with Game.
Yeah.
And I just seen how massive the Hispanic hip hop community was. So I just told Fu one day, I said, man, I want a Hispanic rapper. And he brought me Xan, and I'm like, this dude look like a white boy.
Yeah.
But it was him and Steve Cannon in the car.
Shout out Steve Cannon.
Yeah, shout out Steve Cannon. And it went for me primarily wanting to do the deal with Steve, and then when Xan just back there zooted out of his mind, I'm like, dude is a star. He had only one tattoo on his face at the time. And that was the 666 on there, but he didn't have all the other stuff.
He kind of jumped the shark when he did like the drip.
Yeah,
that's when I was like, that's too much.
Well, I told him to not get more tats, but I told him a lot of stuff. So,
but you want to know a weird thing about the Mexicans in general, though, is that you go to a rap show, you realize like, oh, this is the majority of the audience in California. But then meanwhile, the Mexican podcasts, from my perspective, are usually like kind of small in comparison to the black oriented podcasts. And then like historically, we haven't really seen like a Mexican rapper get that big.
I think because it hasn't been marketed correctly. I think Lefty Gunplay had an opportunity, not to say he don't still have an opportunity, but I think he had a real opportunity to be massive. But the music has to attract everybody. And that's the thing, like you can go in the studio and make something and think it's incredible. You don't know if the people gonna rock with it. You have no clue. It's like rolling a dice.
Really, like Lil Xan, he had such a crazy opportunity, and he should have like doubled down and really worked really hard on the music. And instead, like I saw your frustration during that time period where he was kind of like just not taking it serious enough. You remember there was a Genius show at South by Southwest that he bailed on at the last minute. And I remember you telling him there isn't going to be a second Genius show. Like this industry is built on relationships and favors that you do for people, and like you bailing on this one thing is going to basically have like a negative impact on your career going forward. And he just didn't give a fuck.
But to his credit, right, the young man at the time, he had never experienced. He wasn't prepared for this shit. Nothing can prepare you for the music industry, Adam. Like, so you looking at comments. Because I don't look at comments, but I tell artists all the time, don't look at the comments. But people just in the comments, people saying so much disrespectful things about you. And all the positive things that people say, people screaming your name, it gets drowned out by the negativity. You know what I'm saying? It's like I told you, people's like, man, don't do Adam's podcast. That'll hit you, but it's millions of people that tune in faithfully to listen to what you have to say.
No, appreciate that.
And so it's like, it was tough for him trying to navigate through that. He had his own personal demons before I met him. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why when that whole situation went down, I want to say you jumped out the window and really stood up for me. That's why I'm doing that's why this is my first interview with anybody.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
I've been asked by a lot of people.
I bet.
But I said when I was gonna do an interview, I was gonna do an interview with you first.
Yeah. Because
it was you and it was Wack. That really, and you were definitely,
and Wack loves you.
Yeah, and you was definitely around, and you stood up for me, and I'll never forget that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because
I'll never forget that.
And I kind of soiled my relationship with Lil Xan for a period of time because when he started kind of blaming everything on you, I was just like, bro, I seen this dynamic. I know how hard Stat went for you, and I know how it was your own demons that f***ed your career up, and not what Stat was bringing to the table. Stat wanted to have you be a workhorse, doing every show, being in the studio every night, recording, and et cetera, and taking all this shit really serious, because me or you know how rare it is to have lightning in a bottle as an artist and to really have motion. It's so unbelievably hard, even when you have the cosigns and the height, et cetera. And it's like that moment is so important that you need to zero in on it and focus 100%. And we, as old heads, we get that. And as a young dude, he just didn't really understand how fleeting this moment was.
But guess what, though? Man, he experienced that.
Yeah.
Man, we went all around the world. We went everywhere. His album debuted in the top 10, man. A lot of people can't say that.
Yeah.
He's still performing now off those songs. So, like, man, yeah, it didn't pan out probably the way me and you thought it could be, because I thought I saw him being as bigger than like Billie Eilish. For years, whenever I see Billie Eilish, I see Diego, because I feel like she took his whole aesthetic. Yeah, if you can, she started looking like him after a while. She was really into him,
droopy eyed sort of vibe.
Yeah, that whole vibe. She looked like him. So yeah, but man, the fact that he got to see that, he's from Redlands, California. And he actually was all around the world doing his songs, man, doing his music. He never would have imagined that for himself, man. That's fantastic for him. I love him to this day. I never stopped loving him, even through that situation when he was talking. Yeah. And everybody's like, man, why don't you say something? Man, I'm not saying nothing about him. I love him. Yeah. I will forever love him because we made history. Nobody would have ever thought that we could have done that, along with everybody involved. Food, like, man, it was a great ride. And yeah, do I wish it would have extended for him, and he might have not. We could have done some things differently. Yeah, but I mean, you could say that about everything. My own personal career, I could have done a lot of things differently. You know what I mean? So I'm happy he got to experience, and I'm happy that I got to know him. I met you through that whole situation. You've been solid ever since I know you, so it's fantastic.
But do you think that, like, looking back on it, do you feel like what were the biggest things that Lil Xan could have done differently that would have potentially made his career what it could have been? Because to me, I'm going to put Lil Xan in the exact same category as Lefty Gunplay, where they have all the personality, they have the fan base just waiting to embrace them. But they're both committed to making the music themselves, and I think for both of them, they are not talented rappers. Lil Xan should have been in the studio with writers helping him to shape great music, because I don't think he was a talented enough recording artist to do it himself.
I think he was prepared for, like, knowing how to navigate and make himself big, because he studied YouTube. Yeah, like, religiously, he would look at YouTube, study it, and know what's going on. I think he wasn't prepared for all the circus, what people was having to say about him and how it would affect him. You get that? So he wasn't prepared for that, and it didn't matter what anyone tells you. You just can't prepare yourself for people and the things that they say on the internet, and they start getting information about you. It's just, you can't prepare yourself for that, and then it affects you, and then you spiral. So whatever problems that you go into this industry with, and you having all these other things going on, it's going to be magnified. I think that was the issue. I think I made a mistake. The mistake I made was when he did that Revolt interview and he said that thing about Tupac. Right. I should have had them pull that or made them play the whole clip. Because they just said that he said he don't rock with Tupac. What he said was, I always loved Biggie more. Even though I'm from California, I was into Biggie. I thought Biggie was a better rapper. It's a lot of people that felt that way, but the way they shaped it is, oh, I don't mess with Tupac.
But when they have a soundbite like
that's whack.
You cannot defeat that kind of narrative with truth. Because
but that's why I should have stepped in and said, yo, cut that. Yeah, I should have done a better job, and I didn't do that. That was on me. So I'm not pushing fault. I think so many times in situations we want to push fault on somebody else and say it was their fault or whatever. Okay, you got to look at yourself too. Like, what did I do? More so than trying to blame him. Right. Because at the end of the day, we all did that together. Me, him, Fool. Like, it was something that we all came together. So that was something I wasn't on point with. I really thought they was going to play the whole soundbite. I didn't know media the way I was supposed to be like, oh, they going to clip that up and say, yeah, I think Tupac is boring. And that's exactly what they did. And it was like, damn, I hate him.
But I'll give you an example is that with the Lil Russell controversy over the past couple months, like, the thing that he said about Lil Wayne was really, like, pretty tame in context. Like, if you actually look at it, like, he said, he basically said, some of my goats kind of let me down, like, as I get older or whatever. Like, he's acknowledging that Lil Wayne was one of his favorite rappers of all time. All he was saying was that as he gets deeper into the rap game, he feels like maybe Lil Wayne could have had some more depth or whatever. It's really like a pretty nuanced take, but people don't give a fuck. Like, if you ask the average rap fan, what did Lil Russell say about Lil Wayne? They're going to say, yeah, he hated on Lil Wayne. Like, fuck him.
Can I say this? Because I said this on Third Verse and I said this on Culture United. I'm going to say this on here because it's a bigger platform. Okay. I don't think enough rappers acknowledge the guilt that you feel from the type of music that you make. I know me personally, the things that I have written, the things that I've said in song, and the success that I have achieved in this business, business-wise and as a writer and as an artist, I feel a little guilt because I know what I have done it has contributed to my family and we having things and I have a good life. But I've also said, kill a nigga, steal a nigga, shoot a nigga, die, dinga, die, yo bitch. I've done all these things, and I'm man enough to say, damn, hold up. You know, I influence somebody negatively. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think enough artists that in their latter, the tail end of their careers, I think they should be vulnerable, because I've had a lot of conversations with artists outside of this type of platform, and we sit around and talk about stuff like that. Dang. You know, that's why I never jump down a politician's throat about what they say or what they do. If you make a mistake and I feel like you made a mistake, I would never just be like, man, Adam. Nah, because we all have messed up.
Right.
And that goes back to even Diego. Everybody makes mistakes. It's about how you recover from them and acknowledge that you made the mistake. It makes you a better person.
Well, that's interesting you say that, though, because somebody like, you know, a Lil Durk or whatever, like his content's like 1,000 times more violent than anything that you ever put out there. But it's like, what's the quote is like, you can never convince a man to change his opinion when his paycheck depends on it. You know, like Lil Durk, and granted, obviously he's in a different situation being facing his case or whatever, but it's just so not helpful or advantageous to his career in any way to acknowledge the fact that he's made music that like quite literally has probably prompted, or, you know, not only like his own drama and insular situations involving, you know, people in his life, but has almost certainly, you know, influenced like random kids to go out and shoot somebody or whatever the case might be. And like, it's just not something that you really are likely to hear rappers talk about, even late in their career. Like, it's interesting to hear you say that, because I'm sure you were having like an off-camera conversation with people who are willing to be vulnerable, because even people who are later in their career, it seems like that's not a truth that they're really comfortable wrestling with publicly.
Yeah, they never do it. Even if if any type of content that you create that influences people negatively, right, and you generate income from, you should have some self-awareness to be like, dang, okay, somebody might have took that literally and not actually as entertainment.
Yeah.
You got to be self-aware. I think that's what, I think a lot of artists don't do that. I never come down on artists though, because I realize how hard it is to be known. Like, the fact that you make content, white guy, up here making content, hip-hop content, everybody knows you. You know how difficult it is to get in this position? Everybody got a phone with a camera on it. And these mic, they sell this everywhere. This table ain't different. They got somebody can buy the same table, all these cameras, all these lights,
right, and
call themselves Adam 24. Right? Nobody's gonna watch that because they're not Adam 22. So when you talk about Lil Wayne, even Lil Russell, you talk about Diego, when people be like, oh man, Stat Quo, you ain't put no album out with Shady Aftermath, but you knew me. You saw me. I got to that level. You gotta respect people for getting to that place. So sometimes, like when your comments, like going back to the Lil Russell thing, you gotta respect Wayne for where he went. And then you like Lil Durk, even though he talking about what he went through, we still gotta respect the fact that he got there and rose up out of that situation. And what is he gonna talk about but what he went through? My thing is, once you get through that, let's have some awareness and acknowledge the fact that, dang, I might have influenced somebody. You know, that's just my opinion. I don't want to be, you know, crashing on nobody else.
The thing about it too, though, is like, even as adults, we do things that we don't want our kids to do.
Yeah, facts.
You know, like I could go out to the club tonight and drink and smoke, or I don't do drugs anymore, but imagine I got drunk enough that I wanted to do drugs, and I don't want my kid to grow up and do drugs, and I don't want the young people watching this podcast to go and do drugs. But the reality is that a lot of people love doing drugs, and a lot of people have made careers off of talking about drugs, or, you know, even when it comes to violence and shit like that. Like, yes, in one breath, a rapper will tell you that violence is bad and that it fucked up their life, etc. But then that same rapper probably also has people in his life that, you know, that he considers like enemies or whatever, and maybe one of them gets killed, and maybe he doesn't hop on the internet and celebrate, but maybe privately in his group chat he's got some jokes to be made or whatever. Like, you know, these are all real parts of life, and a lot of times in rap, like the winners are the people who are willing to be the most real, even if what they're putting out is kind of antisocial. Even somebody like Boosie, who's like probably the most popular podcast guest in rap. I mean, Boosie is somebody who will say things that are kind of kind of hateful, kind of homophobic, very much considered ignorant by a large percentage of the population, and that's what they love him for. Charleston White is an even way more extreme example. Yeah, but I mean, he says things that your teacher or your, you know, if you went to your high school class and you played a Charleston White interview clip, they're probably going to kick you out of class. You know, and that's just the reality.
Well, in this game too, you got to realize it's about entertainment as well. So you got to be polarizing. You got to at least sometimes you got to push a button.
Right.
I was reading a comment. Oh, y'all talk about is Drake. I said, well, all ESPN talk about is LeBron. All they talk about is the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Lakers, and the Cowboys.
And in that way, things ain't changed that much because during your heyday, every episode, XXL covers, they had like 6 50-cent covers in one year.
That's it. And so when you talk about what these people are saying, they're saying what the public want to hear. If the public wanted gospel rap, if the public was like, I want gospel rap, gospel rap would be the hugest thing in the world. You can't blame the artist because they're trying to find a way. I'm just saying, as an artist, once you get to a place, it's cool to acknowledge and say, dang, you know what? Man, I was on some shit. Like, I shouldn't have said certain words. Kill a nigga every line of the song. It's like, and then you see some artists, that's their history. But then they want to attack politicians quick. Like, oh, you did it for the... Okay, so if you're going to attack the politician, can you at least acknowledge that you have had mistakes in your life as well? So we can all admit that we're not perfect people. Nobody's perfect, dog. We all...
But one thing I notice is that, like, especially when it comes to drill or street rappers, that a lot of times the ones who are able to have really long careers are the ones who really like never let go of the most violent, edgiest shit in their content. Like the guys who keep pushing that, like, you know, even Lil Durk, like super late in his career, he discovers King Von, and King Von is just this like bloodthirsty ass rapper, and that completely reignites Lil Durk's career, and he makes all these huge ass records from talking about all this street shit. Whereas like for years before that, Durk's content had kind of been going in this more auto-tune, melodic direction, but his career experiences this complete and total rebirth through this dude who we now know was more or less a killer. And I mean, that kind of just says it all about the fact that like his career got extended by the fact that he was willing to keep embracing shit that realistically at that point in his life, maybe he did know better.
So let me tell you, the first time I met him was down in Miami. I was at the mall with Wack. And he was just walking around. This was around the time when Game and him was having some issues.
Right. Okay.
So nice, man. Like a really nice guy. And then the second time I met him, I was working with Cole. Me and Cole was working together, and he was shooting a video. And he was such a nice guy, man. Like a good man. So to hear the records and the things that they said was going on, it's just really about what he grew up in. But I'm gonna say this: he said in a song that what they said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? He said in the feds. So sometimes your words can impact your life in a meaningful way. So I think I just remember hearing him say that, and I was like, dang, okay, he shot him. He might have shouldn't have said that, because that shit is he told his future right there in that rhyme.
Right. But like him saying that wouldn't have really mattered that much if he didn't also continue to do things that were pretty much destined to land him in the feds.
But do we know he did it?
We don't, but you know, the feds don't fuck around too much. You know, if he didn't do it, he probably had a whole bunch of knowledge about it and probably did a bunch of other stuff that could have gone.
Can I tell you a Fed story?
Sure.
That very apartment that you came to.
Yes. You still have that?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
This is why I don't have it. So I used to get plane tickets from a guy overseas.
Okay.
And this guy, come to find out, was stealing people's airline miles. So one morning, it was probably like 6 a.m. Boom, 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 at my door. I'm on the toilet because I'm taking my regular morning
Yep.
I come out, I still have my pants down because I'm like, what's going on? Go to the peephole. I see 4 FBI agents outside of my shit, right? Big ass guns. I'm like, I think y'all got the wrong number. He's like, are you stealing? I'm like, huh? Open the door. It's like 30 of them in my hallway of my spot.
30? Jesus.
They came in there, put on my pants, laid me on the ground. I'm like, dog, y'all got the wrong person. He sat me down. And he's like, yeah, we doing a sweep right now. Long story short, the guy that I was getting the tickets from was getting them fraudulently, and I didn't know that.
Okay.
So they thought, and what he was doing was selling them to other people. I was paying for him direct and using it. I didn't know what he was doing, which come to find out long time after everything, they knew I had nothing to do with it, but I still played out. You know what I mean? And Wack was there for me during that time. He helped me with my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? He came in there.
Did this make the news?
No, because I'm not famous. But I think had it made the news, it would have been different. But I was facing 20 years in jail.
What the
for wire fraud.
And did you have to like actually fight it, get a lawyer and everything?
Wack got the lawyer.
But really?
Wack, he introduced me to the lawyer. The same lawyer that Suge had, that dude, the Wax guy, the dude, that Blueface used him too. So shout out to him. And I remember because they were trying to offer me a plea of 7 to 14 months.
What?
Yeah, and then Wack came in there. I don't know what made him come by the office, because I was almost about to sign it because the lawyer was convincing me like, nah, it's a good deal, because I was facing 20.
Even though they were not going to be able to prove that you had any sort of insider knowledge that this was shady.
But I had so much friends that have dealt with the feds, you just scared. You just don't know. So you just like, fuck it. Because it was a 98%, 99% they win. Man, Wack walked in that office like an angel and was like, hell no. You ain't signing that. And Wack was showing the lawyer like, look, this how I get, he didn't know. And it changed everything. I had to pay whatever I owed. I paid it fast, went to the court in Dallas with the lawyer. They say, yo, you shouldn't even be in here. You didn't know what was going on. The guy said I didn't know. And I just end up, because I had to get something, I ended up getting a year probation. But I was facing 20 years in jail. And I'm saying, going back to what you were saying, the feds ain't no joke.
Yeah.
So when all these rappers and everything that they dealing with that fed stuff, the state, okay, that's one thing, but that fed shit is serious. And like when I seen that come across with Lil Durk, I immediately was like, damn, I was hurt for him. And anybody that goes through that, because I never would have imagined. I was in jail, they locked me up. And I'm just like, damn, I remember looking out the window and seeing people walk on the street. I almost threw up because I couldn't believe that had happened to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I stay out the way. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm low key. So
you seem like you would very much avoid being involved in any kind of criminal conspiracy at this point.
Anything. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've been getting tickets. I had been getting tickets from that guy since like 2008. He was introduced to me by a colleague of mine, homeboy of mine that used to rap in my little crew, and I thought he was just getting like, I never knew what he was doing illegal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I was writing it off on my taxes. That's how you know I didn't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, because his prices weren't too different than the the flight, the people that use the travel agent.
Right.
So I use him or the travel agent. I would go between them. So if she can get me one for $250, I use hers. His was $300 every time.
That's a huge argument, what you just said, in favor of getting a second opinion when it comes to even something like your lawyer, because you know, us as non-lawyers, we just kind of assume like the lawyer knows 1,000 times more than me about the law. So if he's telling me that I need to take this year or whatever, then you should probably just do it. And the fact that somebody like Wack, who's all street smarts, that he was able to like interject himself, and that's insane.
So that's why, like, when I look at even content, I know a lot of people that hate Wack, and I don't care. They can hate him,
right?
He been good to me.
Yeah.
So I disagree with a lot of shit he do, but I'll never disagree in front of everybody else. We'll have a personal conversation. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I tell him things like, hey man, come on, man. We have our talks, you know what I mean? On everything. So but I know, like, somebody say, oh man, I don't rock with Adam 22. I'm like, nah, that's my dog. I don't care what you talk about. That's family for me. Because when that situation went down, you stepped up and said it. And there's a lot of people that were there just like you, they ain't say shit.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. I mean, that was just such a no-brainer to me, because I could more easily put myself in your shoes than his. Like, that's a big part of why signing artist doesn't seem all that attractive to me, is because you just know that you're just going to be the one taking all the blame if anything goes wrong. Yeah, and everything can go right, and then when something doesn't go right, then you're the one taking the blame for it, despite the fact that you have so much less of an ability to make things go wrong than he did.
Name a situation. I just want to know where an artist has did any type of deal, been successful, and then they didn't complain about something that went on with their past once they weren't successful.
Oh yeah.
It's never happened.
Unthinkable.
It's never happened. I did it. I had the opportunity. I signed with Dr. Dre and Eminem, and then when that situation went left, I did an interview like mad, like, oh, da, da, da. And then I look back at myself like I was an idiot for saying that. Then people gave me an opportunity, gave me a chance. They changed my life. And these people are still in my life right now. Like, how could I ever think anything opposite? But I think at the time you so caught up in like what could have been instead of what actually happened. And what actually happened is, man, you made a shit ton of money with these people, and they gave you an opportunity that nobody else did. And your name will live on forever because you was a part of something that was so historic. So how you gonna be mad? How can I ever be mad at Dr. Dre? Are you kidding me? This guy changed my existence. Eminem, Paul Rosenberg, Jimmy Iovine. How can I ever be mad at these people? These people changed my life.
Right.
I live in this life because those people saw that I was suitable enough to be down with what they were doing.
Okay, but devil's advocate, I mean, yeah, they made your life better and everything, but they didn't necessarily see the whole plan through, right? Because at a certain point, Eminem just got frustrated with you because you weren't necessarily doing things his way, right?
Well, that was a mistake that I made for opening my big mouth because I'm questioning a man that sold, a quadrillion records, telling him that something's not going to work. That's stupid. I was dumb.
And so what, it was a song?
It was a song called Dance on It.
Okay.
And Eminem had wrote the hook, and he wanted me to say the hook. And I wanted him to stay on the hook. And this is where...
And he just wanted to have a verse on it.
No, it was going to be my song, but he wrote the hook and he made the beat. Okay. But I was ignorant at the time because as rappers, you want to write all your stuff. You're like, oh, ain't nobody writing for me.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, you can... I'll use it if you stay on it and give me $1 million. Yes, I said that.
You said give me $1 million just as like a joke because you already signed, right?
Yeah, I was signed, but it wasn't a joke. I'm just saying that, and he got so mad, stormed out the studio, and Dre was like, "Why did you say that?" I'm like, I was just saying that. I was like, you think he mad? He's like, Dre's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dre was like, we got to finish the album. It's over. He's done with you.
Wow.
Right then, I'm like, damn, for real. And they had set it up. They put out the re-up. I had the most songs on that. Looking back, I could see what they were doing. They were setting me up to come out because I think that thing went double platinum, and then I was gonna be the next thing to drop. But me and my big mouth, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I could never get upset with an artist for saying things out of turn because I said shit out of turn. So I'm gonna forget that I was saying stuff out of turn and just and plus you emotional about your stuff. You're not being rational. And I was emotional about my stuff. And I apologized to him, begged and pleaded. It was over with.
You literally begged and pleaded to his face, or you like messaging him or calling him?
Absolutely. We wasn't messaging. This was
pre-messaging, right? Yeah.
If we was messaging, I think it was Skytail pages or something. But I definitely told him to his face. And then I remember he had a something, I think, where he had an overdose or something. I sent him this package. This was after I wasn't even with the label anymore.
This was publicized that he had an overdose?
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if it was or not, but something where he was in the hospital. I don't know if it's overdose or something, but I sent him a package so he could recover or whatever. I had some pornos in there or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And I remember when he got it, somebody's like, he's not mad at me? Because he thought I was going to be mad. I wasn't upset with him. I was grateful to ever have known him and to work with him, to be around him. And then when Cole did the Juice WRLD video,
right,
that's where it kind of like we all reconnected.
Really?
Because Paul was there, DJ was in there. I had been seeing DJ, but Dre. I mean, I was already had reconnected with Dre, but Dre was there. Everybody was there. Mike Tyson came out, and it was just a beautiful moment. You know what I mean? I think Monster is the name of that song.
Yeah.
And that just felt like 360 for me because I was working with Cole. They didn't know I was working with Cole. Dre didn't know that. And then I'm just on the set and it was cool. Paul knew, of course, but like it was just a whole thing. It just felt like Royce, the Nine, everybody was there. It was just a great day, man. It was like 3-day shoot. I think that song got like over 1 billion streams. That song was massive.
But okay, so from your perspective with Eminem, like I always just hear about how particular he is and how interesting his lifestyle is, where I've heard people say that he's in the studio from whatever hours it is, like 10 to 5, and when it hits 5 o'clock, he got an alarm that goes off and he's out of there.
Yes.
Like he's unbelievably regimented when it comes to the creative process. I think us as like normal people, you think we might be in the studio till 5, we might be in the studio till 10, whatever. Like, every day is a little bit up in the air, but I've always heard that like possibly because of his experience with drug addiction and rehab, recovery and everything, that like he chooses to keep his life like extremely regimented. Is that your experience?
Well, I think all of us, everybody, we call it the Dr. Dre School. And everybody that came through Aftermath, it's like you're graduating from that school working with Dre. And he definitely implemented a lot of Dre's habits into what he does. So that's kind of like how I see it. Dre has just had such a massive influence on Marshall and everybody that's been around him. So when you see somebody that's successful and you see how hard they work, and then you just it resonates and rubs off on you. So with Marshall, it just rubbed off on him seeing Dre. You know what I mean? That type of passion, and M has that type of passion. So he's like, yo, I'm taking it and making my own. Whereas Dre working all night, Marshall like, you know what, 9 to 5 or 10 to such and such, and that's how I'm gonna do it. And that was basically because he wanted to make sure he was in his kids' lives. That was his whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And he's a phenomenal father, now grandfather, by the way. Yeah. So Dre, I would say probably was the biggest influence, more so than anything with some drugs or whatever. That regimented thing, Dre is like that with his shit.
And so did you kind of get turned on to that work flow?
Yes, with Dre. Like everything I am in the studio, everything about like that part of my life, I just took that from him, and being around him and watching how passionate he is and how hard he goes. You know, anybody can like be broke and go hard. It's definitely hard. It's when you got billions of dollars and you still working as if your life depends on it. Yeah, it's crazy. Like when you watch LeBron James the other night dunking backwards, he got all the money in the world. Kevin Durant, these guys they'll never not have. It's something deeper than that. They got a passion that burns inside them. Dre, that's that type of shit that Dr. Dre got. Eminem got that too. Yeah, you know what I mean? I tell people this story all the time. I said to Marshall, I'm like, man, like, why, like you Eminem? This one time, we had a conversation. I'm like, man, you Eminem, you already big. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I haven't written her Happy Birthday yet.
That's what he said.
He said, I want to write a song that's as big as Happy Birthday.
What the?
That's the coldest. And then I told him that he said that. He said, I don't even remember telling you that. I'm like, that's the coldest shit anyone's ever said. I want to write a song that's as big as Happy Birthday.
But it doesn't feel like Eminem is doing the things that might eventually result in having a song as big as Happy Birthday.
He's still putting out work. He's still putting out music.
But most of his music is so like is the exact opposite of what you would expect to be able to have that sort of mainstream appeal, because his music is so dense lyrically.
But he created his own partial of the world that love his dense thing that he's doing. And what they do is they evangelize to other people that aren't necessarily into his vibe. They be like, you know what, I do like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first heard Rod Wave, for instance, right? Yeah. I'm like, okay, he ain't really rapping. It's some melodic stuff. And then as I kept hearing other people talk to me about it, I find myself sitting in the house like, man, this dude jamming. Like, oh, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it might not be your thing, but when you get other people, nah, you got to listen to this, you got to listen to that. And you're like, damn, okay, that's cold. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But some things you're going to get off top. Like if Taylor Swift would have walked in my office when I was to sign, I wouldn't have signed Taylor Swift.
Right. Why though?
Because she just looked plain. It didn't stand out to me. It was like a regular white girl. Yeah. But she's one of the biggest stars in the world. I would have missed that.
And bro, when I go back and I'm the same boat as you, where I'm just not really like primed to be able to evaluate that kind of talent. Yeah. But I've seen her documentaries and you see the videos of her performing when she's 12, 13 years old or whatever. And it is just like, whoa, like she was very far along in the process of becoming a great artist when she was extremely young. Yeah. And then she was lucky enough too to have parents that fully embraced it and were willing to move from Pennsylvania to Memphis, or not Memphis, but Nashville, just to pursue that. Like that's pretty incredible. Like to have that natural talent and work ethic, and then also to have parents who embraced it and let you get this head start where years and years and years of working your ass off that the average person might have had to do, she was able to like have parents who embraced her to that level. Who of us would do that?
But see, this is why I would have missed it, because I feel like artists have to be Halloween costumes. Like, whether you know it or not, somebody can dress up and be Adam. You and your wife are a costume.
2017, 2018-ish era, there was a lot of people dressing up as me for Halloween, which is kind of strange to look back
What
on.
I'm saying to you is, but that's what superstar shit is. Yeah. Every superstar, you can dress up like them. Eminem, you know what I mean? Yeah. So when I first seen Taylor Swift, I'm like, what's the costume? So a white girl with some blonde hair and tall look awkward. It didn't hit me like that. So that's why I would have missed it. I would have looked past the talent because I'm talented. I'm extremely talented. I can write anything and I'm dope as but it's deeper than talented to be that superstar. Michael Jackson is talented, but that boy walked around with a monkey. Yeah. Prince played all the instruments, but he wore ass out pants with high heels, with hair flushing down his back. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole's talented, right? But he walk around here looking like a monk with his hair all kind of crazy. Kendrick Lamar had a puppet on the stage with him. Right. You know what I'm saying? In a kung fu outfit. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So like the talent is not enough in most cases, but with her, I still don't know how she did it. Cause Madonna's a costume. Taylor Swift is that a costume? She's just like a white girl with blonde hair. And
I feel like she is like her value is just that she's an incredible songwriter above all else. So she just makes like really, really great records. And if you really look at like the value proposition with Taylor Swift, she's not an amazing vocalist. Her singing is okay. Yeah. She's not a good dancer. Nah. Her dancing goes viral all the time for being pretty basic. Yeah. And then meanwhile, you know, you put her up against people like Adele and Rihanna and shit who have these like world-class voices. And I mean, she was able to pull it off just on the basis of being being able to form a cult of people who love her music, and then also just making really, really good music over and over and over. And really, like, that's what got to me about Taylor Swift through listening to her. Obviously, I never like listened to her before my wife just started playing it around me all the time, but she just has like so few misses. Like you really go through these projects are like 15 songs deep, and like you get to song 13, 14, 15 and there's still like really, really good songs. And you know, now I kind of listen to more female singers, and like in my head I'm like forced to compare them to Taylor Swift. I listened to the new Addison Rae album a couple of weeks ago, and it's just kind of like I see the potential. I see how she could kind of get there as time goes by, but she is 4% of a Taylor Swift at this time. Not
Taylor Swift is a whole nother level, but she's incredible, man. And I wish she was signed with me. I wish I had something to do with that business. Shout out to Taylor Swift.
But did Lil Xan kind of turn you off to signing artists?
Nah, I still wanted to do it, but what kind of turned me off is just COVID, actually. And I just started looking at it, and I'm like, I don't really want to do it. It's like I've been blessed. I'm in a good space. Like, I want to do something else with my life. You know what I mean? I work with some artists now, but it's more so like I wouldn't want to sign them to contracts and all that type of shit. I don't even want to get involved in that because it's not going to end well. Yeah. They're going to end up hating you regardless of what it is. And I just don't even want to deal with it. I'd rather just help you, and however I can help you. And if I help you and you work out, that's fine, but I don't want nothing from you. I'm cool. Yeah. I don't need shit.
Yeah. And just that responsibility of signing somebody, because like I was saying to somebody else on here the other day, is like there is a thing that can happen to you if you're in the music business where your life is one way. Like for me, I go to sleep around midnight every night. But if I were to discover the next Lil Pump or the next Juice WRLD or whatever, and if you really believe in them and you have that opportunity, your life is now different. Like now you got to be out in the club till 4 a.m. a lot of the time. Now you got to be out in the studio till 6 a.m. And are you willing to adjust your life so that it can, basically help facilitate an artist being great? And the thing is that when you're thinking about how to spend the rest of your life, you have to compare deciding to sign an artist with every other thing that you could be doing. Because the reality is that if I sign like a drill rapper who I think has potential, money-wise, I probably would be better off opening a burger restaurant.
Yeah. Well, I don't
or anything else.
I don't even think the interest is the same with the music.
Yeah. It's different now.
It's not the same, so I don't even think it really makes any sense. So if it's something you're not passionate about, you shouldn't be doing it. But plus, in the case of me, because I'm not trying to be just out in the club at 3, 4 in the morning, I would have one of my younger colleagues that's trying to break into business and kind of put them in that direction, and then eventually let that person just take over to where I don't even have to deal with it. Right. And then I'll just get a percentage off of what they get, and they can just have it and do everything. Because at this point right now, I just don't foresee myself going on tour. I mean, I went on tour with him. Yeah. I slept in the back of a bus eating Arby's sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? You saw me eating Panda Express. I don't eat like that. You know what I'm saying? You was like, yo, I had that yesterday. I'm like, I don't do that type of stuff. So I was eating Arby's. Yeah. Arby's, bro. Yeah. Arby's. We went somewhere, and in the plane they gave us reindeer. I think it was in like Norway or something crazy.
I've had this experience too. Yeah.
I'm like, reindeer, dog. Yeah. It was so crazy. I would never do that right now. I would never go on tour with somebody and be going from show to show and taking a shower in these little rinky-dink hotels.
Part of that sounds really fun though.
I'm cool, not for me.
Really?
I did it, so it's like that's why I don't even travel as much as I would want to, because of the experience of going on the road and going through different airport after airport, hotel after hotel. I'm just like, it just sounds.
But
too much.
You're kind of like last of a dying breed. Well, it's not like you were the last generation that this happened to, but where you went through the real A&R process where you got signed.
Yes.
And then you had massive superstar successful artists who really worked hard to try to develop you.
Yes.
But okay, before we even get into that though, tell me how your life went in the lead up to signing to Shady and Aftermath. Like how hot did you get in the streets, and what was your career like before that?
Okay, I'm from Atlanta.
Yes.
I went to the University of Florida.
Okay.
I graduated from college. I'm like, man, I went to go try to get a job, and all the jobs that was offering was like working at Walmart, Blockbusters. That was a video store at the time. I'm like, man, I'm not finna go to college and come out and work at these places. I always loved music. So Bone Crusher had a video shoot for Never Scared. Right?
You were in that video?
No.
Okay.
The MP3 player had just come out where you could record people saying things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said this on my podcast, Third Verse. I'm doing that again. But I went down to that video shoot with that MP3 player. Bone Crusher, Big Boy from Outkast, Ludacris, T.I., Killer Mike. Everybody that was anybody in Atlanta was at this video shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I went up to each one of them with my MP3 player and told them that my name was DJ Stat Quo.
Right.
When I did that, they like, yo, this your boy, Big Boy from Outkast. I'm rocking with DJ Stat Quo, the #1 in the ATL and around the world. I got drops from everybody that's hot in the streets of Atlanta. I went to the studio, loaded that MP3 player up. I dropped DJ from all those drops.
That's so smart. Holy shit.
I made a mixtape, right? And in between every song, I said, T.I. speaks, Killer Mike speaks, Lil Xan speaks, Big Boy from Outkast speaks, Ludacris speaks. And I had that in between each songs. On the front cover of the mixtape, I took every record label's logo that was hot at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Def Jam, Rockefeller, and I put that on the front, and it said Stat Quo Underground Atlanta Volume 1. That way, when you saw the CD, you said, oh shit, all these people on it. And then you looked on the back and you said, oh, you see these names of people that was hot. I just needed you to listen.
Right.
And when they listened, I got hot.
Wow.
That's how crazy. I did it. And from that, it was a dude named Mike Y.O. who knew Mailman. And I was dealing with a girl at the time who let me use her like companion pass.
Uh-huh.
She took my demo, that very CD, to Mailman. She went. I always say she cheated on me, but she said she did. She took it over to Mailman's house, played it for Mailman. Mailman loved it. He told Mike Y.O. I met with him in Atlanta. I flew out to L.A., right? Because I flew out to LA, I knew B. Cox and a dude named Brian Michael Cox, who worked with Jermaine Dupri. I knew him, so I was in the studio hanging out with them, just hanging around, because I had been hanging around with them in Atlanta or whatever. Mailman met up with me and said, yo, I rapped for him in the parking lot outside with B. Cox. He took me into the studio. I walked in the studio. It was Dr. Dre, LeVar Arrington, and they was in there listening to some shit. And it was this crazy ass beat. And Dre was like, yo, come to the front. I want you to check something out. Went to the front. This crazy ass beat is on. He's like, you fucking with that? I'm like, yeah. So I started he's like, yo, I'm giving him I immediately just started writing to it. Because I had an incident with Scarface before in Atlanta and I messed up. And I said, if I ever get back in the studio with a legend, I'll never fuck up
How
again.
did you mess it up with Scarface?
Because when I went in the studio with him and he wanted me to rap, I was so nervous because this dude was my idol.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had met him at one of them DJ conferences. You know, I'm not one of them. How Can I Be Down?
Yeah.
I met him there because I had sent my demo to Def Jam South, India. India Fendrick, which was the sister of my future manager, Zeke, gave it to this dude named G Wallace, and he gave it to Scarface.
Right.
Scarface, he's like, oh, I had a song called GA State. Oh, you the GA State nigga. It was Scarface, Kevin Lyles. We in Scarface hotel room. Scarface is in his boxers, and they playing my music. I think Kevin Black was there from Interscope. And long story short, Scarface invited me to the studio, Patchwork Studio. I went in. I was so nervous. He was like, man, you whack, and got rid of me because I couldn't get my shit together. I just was so scared because it was Scarface, right?
But you were trying to rap.
I was trying to rap the verse that I had wrote to
that you already wrote.
That I had already wrote. But that was one of my first times in the studio with somebody of his magnitude.
Yeah.
So when I got in with Dre, I'm like, yo, I'll never do that again because you don't get too many shots at this shit. Yeah. So when I got in there with Dre, when that beat was on, I don't know what got into me. I immediately started rapping shit to Dre and telling Dre, you need to say this. I'm trying to write Dre's rhymes. I'm like, you need to say this. I'm just spitting it to him. He's like, oh.
You felt like he appreciated that?
Yeah. So he like, nah, you go in the booth. So I go in the booth. After I had wrote something for him, he's like, nah, fuck that. What would you say on this shit? And I just started busting. And then he's like, yo, he came in the booth with me. He set up another mic. And that's what it was. When I laid the part, he had went in there first to try to lay it. And I was falling asleep because I'm narcoleptic, if you don't know that. But I was falling asleep. Yeah.
How many hours you sleep on average per night?
Probably about 3 or 4. I don't sleep
that's
enough.
it?
I don't sleep enough.
But then meanwhile, you could just fall asleep just sitting around?
Oh, man, dog, it's bad.
Really?
I took a nap before I came here, so you don't have to experience that. Dre calls me young sleep. But he was in the booth trying to rap my rhyme. And I was falling asleep. He's like, nah, you got to come in and give me energy. So Vito, which was the engineer at the time, set up another microphone. So I'm rapping the rhyme that I wrote for him. We rapping it together. I'm telling him, oh, you say it like this or whatever. He's like, nah, f that. What would you say? And I just started busting. I had all these rhymes in my mind, you know what I'm saying? And he just going off. By this time, he done had like 2 or 3 pints of Hennessy. Oh. And he's yelling in the background, this nigga the greatest. This nigga the stat quote, nigga ATL, nigga.
Holy shit.
We going down south on you niggas. He going crazy. I'm rapping. Boom. I'm like, okay, cool. This is a good moment. We come out of the studio. We come out of the vocal booth. He looks at the engineer. You got that? I'm like, oh, you got that? What are you talking about? This dude, Dre, gave me the CD of that.
Whoa.
I remember going into the shower because he had a shower. I turned the shower on in that bathroom at the studio, at Record One, the studio he owned. I turned the water on. I called my mama. I was crying. I'm like, mama, we rich. Because I knew what I was going to do with that CD. It was 9 minutes long Dre was the hottest shit in the world. This is G-Unit time. Yeah. This is when 50 was just doing his thing. It was 9 minutes. It's called The Future. Y'all can look it up on 9 minutes of this man saying I'm the greatest shit ever.
Holy shit.
I took that. I cut it into 3 parts. The dude, DJ Ski. You know DJ Ski? Uh-huh. We did a mixtape. The second volume of the one where I had everybody's names on the side. Yeah. We cut that shit into 3 parts. Dr. Dre. I put it out in the street, right? It was Mix Show Power Summit in Puerto Rico. I knew another K Sly from the West Side, the radio personality. You remember her? She had passes to get into that event. So me and her was, kind of had our little thing going on. And I stayed with her at the hotel. She got me a pass. I went to all the events with my mix CD and I was putting it on everybody's table. And it's got my picture, and on the back is Dr. Dre. Yeah. And it's this hard ass beat, and Dre telling everybody that he's the greatest motherfucker in the world. Yeah. When I came back to LA from that, I remember Kira, she work at Amazon now, calling me like, nigga, did you put out a CD of Dre? Da, 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 da? I'm like, yeah, he gave it to me. He said I could put it out. I ain't know nothing about the music business. Right. I got back.
But this is mixtape era where that kind of shit, like, who was going to tell you not to do it, right?
Exactly.
Whereas now you get a Dr. Dre verse, it's like, I could put it on YouTube. Maybe it's going to get taken down, but I can't put it on Spotify or Apple. It was just kind of like this. Everything.
When it's in the street, it's in the streets. It's gone. Yeah. I came back. I had I was staying off what's some shit? It wasn't an Airbnb. It was just corporate housing. They had an apartment for me because by this time, at first I was staying at Mailman House, but Dre got me a place, and I was staying out here working with them every day. But I remember they made me leave. Said you got to go back to Atlanta. I thought my career was over. I thought it was done because I was finished. And then when I got back to Atlanta, man, the phones started lighting up. Niggas, they found me. Puff picked me up. We flew to New York. He wanted to sign me. Everybody wanted me because I was on fire.
But then you doubled back and went back to Dre?
Yeah, because when I went, me and Puff, he just wasn't my kind of guy.
You could tell?
Okay, so
everybody got a story about this, yeah.
We went to Mr. Child's.
Okay,
it was me, my manager. It was Puff. It was his wife Kim, and it was Mr. Bentley. It's my first time ever being in Mr. Child's.
Yeah,
we in there. Food come out. Him and Bentley start eating off the same fork. Me and Kim look at each other like, and I was like, oh no. Nah,
so like we got a plate of orange chicken in front of us, and it's like, you eat a bite and then
he put his fork in that man's mouth.
Oh.
Now I don't have nothing. It was just I'm from Atlanta. I ain't know nothing about that at the time.
I don't get it either. That's so crazy.
I don't know. From where I'm from, if I'm gonna eat some of yours, I'm gonna take my fork and I'm gonna get it. And then I'm with my girl. I'm like, let me try that. I'm gonna get mine and dump it into my plate. He dipped it, fed it to him, and fed him. It just didn't sit right with me.
Right.
And then we went to the club after that, and he had these big Cristal bottles. And I remember my manager told me, he's like, man, you know, them Cristal bottles, that's worth a lot of money. I'm like, what? And so everybody popping the bottle, drinking. I leave the club. I got 3 bottles. I'm holding them like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to sell these shits. I ain't know what was going on. Puff like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got to sell these. And then before that, when we were flying up, it was Puff, my manager, Steve Stout was on that plane. It was a private plane. And Puff was like, man, anything you want on here, Playboy, you know what I'm saying? We got everything you want. So I remember they had fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. And so the lady came by, she's like, what do you want? I said, well, okay, it's fried chicken, macaroni and cheese. I want some collard greens and cornbread too. And she's like, well, we don't have that. Puff was asleep. I'm like, one eye open up. I'm like, Puff, you said I can have anything. I don't got collard greens and cornbread. He just looked at me like this, rolled his eyes, and rolled over.
We are on a plane.
We on a plane. The nigga said he had everything though, Adam. He said he had everything. He lying. You know what I'm saying? And then this is around the time when he did that Mohawk shit.
Yeah.
Did he run the city?
Yeah.
And then when he had that Mohawk, and I'm just like, this ain't really my type of cat. And then so he got word, because everybody was offering me a deal. It was a bunch of people. He got word that I didn't like him. And I remember him calling me. He's like, Playboy, this ain't no liking contest, Playboy. This ain't about liking. You think it ain't about you liking me? It's about us getting some money, Playboy. We're going to get some money, huh? Let's get some money. And then everybody around, when I just like the staff and the people, they just looked like it wasn't right. And with Dre and them, everybody was right.
Yeah,
everybody had nice cars. Yeah. Everybody looked healthy. It just was right. You know what I'm saying? And and then they were just hot as fish grease too. And I just resonated with the sound and the music. So I decided to do that. You know what I mean? But I never had, my main issue, Adam, is that I didn't have an identity as an artist. Like that thing we talk about, that costume, like you have an identity as a potter or as a CEO of a media empire.
Maybe a little too much of an identity.
But it's good though. It works. It works. You have to have that.
Right.
Like I have an identity as an executive. When people know, if you play me that music, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't care if it hurt your feelings or not. Like I'm gonna tell you that if that shit's good or not, I'm gonna tell you that. That's identity. That's the type of shit you gotta have as an artist. You can't, like Jeezy was popping around the time.
He's a drug kingpin.
I rap better than Jeezy.
Yeah.
But he the snowman.
He's got the storyline.
He the snowman. And that shit sounds so hard. But on some just bar for bar, yeah. Dog, I can rap it. T.I. can rap his ass off. But he's also the rubber band man. He created trap music. Gucci Mane, Ice Cream Man. Like you gotta have, you can't just come out here and just have some bars and think you're gonna be a superstar. And I was signed to such a juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent. They can't come after 50 Cent with some, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like how I got caught up in that.
The 50 narrative was so defined. The Eminem narrative was so defined.
Yes.
But then meanwhile, your image was like, cool dude, good rapper.
What is it?
But not necessarily like the most street dude.
Not at all.
You know, not necessarily. You're not like the king gangster. You're just like a dope rapper, which is, you know, not enough. Like I seen a viral clip going around of Sean Cotton basically talking about how, you know, rap nowadays especially is just all about storytelling. And once the fans start to view you as a goofy whose public narrative is defined by his relationship drama or whatever, then that just like, it could just slay your career. And it is very petty, but it's like with the rap fans, like they feel like they have so much to choose from that it could be the pettiest, silliest little narrative, but as soon as they're able to pin it to you, and especially now it's a race to label you a artist who fell off, because everybody wants to make a couple $1,000s by making a YouTube video or a TikTok saying that you fell off, so they race to do it before there's actually legitimate evidence of you falling off. Like for instance, like Lil Baby has really kind of been like the byproduct of this, because so many people talk about him, and like academics really like advance that narrative more than anybody ever could have. And so Lil Baby maybe would have had like many more years of people just kind of accepting him as being like a lit rapper or whatever. But once that narrative starts to fall into place, you've fallen off, you see artists kind of just start scrambling.
And I'm gonna say I love academics too. Like I love what he does, and I think he's super important. So that narrative and that thing that he does about people falling off, that's important because the fans want that.
Yeah.
That's like the Drake album that's coming out.
Yeah.
There's a significant number of people that are only interested in hearing his album so that they can say it's trash. That's a fact. When Kendrick dropped GNX, there was a significant number of people that only wanted to hear that because they wanted to see if he fell off after him that battle.
Yeah, and even like me listening to GNX as like a commentator, a media personality, is like I listened to it and I'm like, oh, this is a pretty dope album. I gotta listen to it a few more times before I really have an opinion on it. But that is not marketable from a social media standpoint. The marketable aspect would be you race through it, you listen to a minute or two of each song, and then you get on Twitter and you say, this is the worst fucking album I ever heard. Kendrick fell off.
Exactly.
That is the one that's going to win you the day on Twitter and get you all the quote tweets and stuff like that. Whereas like, oh, I want to sit with this album for a couple days. You know, I'm the type of person where like throughout my life, I've never really been the kind of guy who's just like listening to an album the moment it came out. You know, I'll get to it, I'll take my time, but that doesn't really apply to this modern landscape. Like I'm already plotting on when the Drake album comes out. What's the best kind of content for us, like doing a listening party or doing a podcast where we listen to each song and talk about it? Like what is the best method? Because realistically, a couple days after it's out, the whole marketplace changes, where now a couple days after it's out, maybe people are interested in hearing like in-depth breakdowns of the content. But as far as just that initial reaction, you got to race to get that shit out.
You got to be the first one to it.
Oh yeah.
Like I was just telling Justin, I was like, yo, when that Drake album come out, we're going live immediately.
Yeah.
We're not waiting.
Yeah.
We're going to be the first video up there because people want to see it. They want to see what you have to say.
Yeah.
And he is a proclaimed Drake hater. I don't hate Drake. He say he don't hate Drake, but I don't hate Drake.
Right.
I like Drake's music. I'm clearly more Kendrick than I am Drake because of my relationship with Top Dog or whatever, but I don't hate Drake. I appreciate his music. I think he's extra dope. One of his main producers is a guy that I consider to be my brother, which is Boy Wonder. And I have a Drake playlist on my phone. I think his music is phenomenal. I said on third verse, when I'm at the pool, I'm listening to Drake, dog. I love Kendrick. I think he's dope. But if I'm swimming and it's the summertime, I'm not playing some of that shit. Maybe GNX got some of that on it. But generally, as a catalog, you weren't playing a lot of that music when you just at the... You know, it wasn't like that. Drake got a whole 1,000 songs that just put the playlist on and we swimming and generally it's pretty clean too. So if you got your kids out, you can put it on.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. I listen to Drake around my kid, and meanwhile, like I put GNX on around my kid, and my girl like turned it off after one song because he's saying the F word so much. And like you know, people probably who don't have kids are listening to that. They're like, what the fuck, like. Kendrick, like it's not offensive music or whatever, but he do be swearing. Yeah. And like if you're a strict parent, that should just don't really apply. Well, Drake be swearing too, but it just hits a little different.
Well, you could just put the clean one on. It's just,
exactly. Yeah.
You know, you're more into the melodic stuff of it anyway. But me, I love them both the same. I think they're both important. But as far as like hating on shit, there's a large market and it's a lot of money to be made to be a hater. Yeah. I mean, Skip Bayless' whole career.
Yeah.
The biggest thing he did was say LeBron was trash. And the reason why Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, that first take shit was so interesting is because of their dynamic. Their dynamic. Skip loved the Cowboys, which is massive. Stephen A. Smith hated the Cowboys.
Right.
Skip hated LeBron. Stephen A. Smith loved LeBron.
Right.
And they clashed on that. And all they talked about was LeBron, Cowboys, LeBron, Cowboys. That's why when people be like, oh, Kendrick, Drake, like we doing it right now.
Yeah.
This shit gonna go crazy when you put it out. Because we talking about this.
Right.
And we're going to keep talking about it, Adam.
There's
you know
just
why?
a natural built-in audience.
This the game.
Yeah.
This is what we doing. Fuck we talking about.
I read an article the other day, and I'm not like an avid sports media watcher, but I observe it from a distance. But like they were basically saying that the state of ESPN is such that every single show now is a bunch of talking heads basically doing a podcast, taking on, and there's always going to be one person who takes on an opinion that is controversial enough that everybody else at the table is going to disagree with it and argue with it. And the problem is that there are just not that many plausible negative opinions to be had. Like, and especially in sports where everything is like not that subjective. It's like to say that LeBron sucks when we can all go on, any website or any AI and ask, like, where's LeBron rank as far as the greatest players of all time? And they're going to say, hey, he scored 1 million fucking points and he was a great player and he was extremely high paid and he had all these championships, et cetera. It's like, it's kind of grating to people. But like one thing I tell the people that I podcast with is like, listen, we got to find shit to argue about. Because if we a lot of times the biggest stories are the least interesting things to talk about unless there's a component of it that is worth having an argument or a discussion about. Because, okay, if so-and-so rapper gets killed, we come on the podcast and sometimes the whole conversation is just like, damn, that's fucked up. And that is just not interesting. But meanwhile, the Gucci and Jeezy thing,
there you go.
There's all these different moments where you could say, what was Pooh Shiesty thinking? Why did he do this? Why did Gucci tell? Why did, this is what Gucci should have done. He should have done it like this, etc. That'll make for an interesting conversation. But a lot of times, the biggest stories, there's not a lot to dig into because they're so simple and really depressing.
It's so crazy to me where people talk about what Gucci should have done.
Right. What's your take on that?
I probably wouldn't have done a song.
Right, yeah, I think the song was the biggest misstep of all. Yeah,
I think I probably wouldn't have done a song, but I also am not him, and I don't know what he was experiencing at the time. But me personally, I wouldn't have done a song.
Right.
I love Gucci. I love his music. I remember one Christmas, we was at Onyx in Atlanta. Me and Gucci just sitting there, just chopping it up. Christmas night at the strip club playing pool, and he was just picking my brain, asking me about Dre, M, and 50. He hadn't had, like, I guess, interactions with them. So he was asking me about how they were. And, because he's one of the greatest A&Rs in hip hop history.
True. As
far as like what he has contributed to the game. And it's just so funny to me that now you got people saying he this, he that, being negative about him. Just like, let's just throw his whole history out because of this incident. I mean, Gucci, what, 50 years old?
47,
I mean, pretty much, he's 50 years old. And whatever's going on, people got to stop with this, like trying to judge and he this, he that. Okay, man, let that situation play out the way it play out. That's my thing. It's not for me to be telling him what he should or shouldn't do. He should do whatever he want to do. He's a man. When he go to the bathroom, are y'all holding his dick?
Right, but don't you think it's fair for us to kind of consider him a hypocrite or that he was doing something out of character?
But who's not?
For sure. But here on the internet, being a hypocrite is pretty much the number one thing that people are going to want to discuss.
Everybody's a hypocrite in their own life.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. When you wake up in the morning, it's a mirror in front of you. And when you look in that mirror, you can think of a million things that you probably have done that someone would do differently than you.
Right.
So when it comes to that, you have to give people grace. And not be so quick to be like, oh, he did it. Hey, man, okay, he did that. Cool, all right. I'm not going to forego all he did in his career. And let's say this. If Pooh Shiesty didn't rob him, then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
So we just going to be like, okay, we going to say the robbing was right.
But in this backwards ass culture, yes, the robbing is just fine. The telling is not.
No, but that's not right.
I'm just saying. But it is consistent because if you listen to Pooh Shiesty's music, he's telling you, I'm a robber. I take shit. And Gucci Mane, if you listen to his music, he's telling you, I'm a gangster. I don't talk to police.
I respect Pooh Shiesty for doing what he felt like was best. I respect that because that's what he wanted to do. I wouldn't have done that. And I disagree with what he did, but I can respect him doing it and sticking to what he say he is, and he's young. I still don't think it was the right thing to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that could have been handled differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If that was me in that situation, if I'm with an artist and they are that upset, first of all, I wouldn't meet them at the studio. If I have an artist named Pooh Shiesty, I'm not meeting him at the studio. His name's not Pooh Nice Guy. It's Pooh Shiesty.
And it's clear to me that Gucci didn't really expect things to go in that direction because he had 2 security guards with him, which is probably standard for Gucci. But the security guards weren't in the actual studio. One of them was outside in the car, and one of them, I think, was in the lobby, which tells you a lot because it would be very normal for Gucci to say, hey, I got this artist coming in. He's kind of a hothead. I want you to stay relatively close to me.
He should have let him go and then took an override on the rest of his career. He's like, okay, you know what? You can go. I keep the whole catalog. I take 15, 20% going for it and be done with it. Yeah. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
He was Gucci was still probably trying to hang on and do future projects.
Yeah.
I would have just let him go and then got my money back from the future stuff that he did.
Yeah.
Because I'm not about to sit here and argue with you when you don't want to be with me. It's like being in a relationship. If your wife is saying, hey, I don't want you no more, you're going to just be trying to force it to go? Yeah. Like, you go home and she's like, Lena's like, I don't want you no more. You're like, no, baby, please, baby. And she's just constantly telling you, no, I don't want you. It's going to lead to her doing fucked up shit to you because she's telling you that she don't want to be with you. And I'm sure before they met up, I'm sure that they've had a conversation to say he don't want to be doing this.
The energy was in the air for sure.
Yeah, so like, it's too much. That's one thing I like about basketball. Generally, when a basketball player is like, I don't want to be on this team no more, they get him the fuck up out of there.
Right. Yeah, because it's so obviously performance-based. That's the weird thing about rap is that, or podcasting, same thing. If you're somebody on No Jumper and you move the needle every single time you come on the podcast, the numbers go up and we get a bunch of clips with a bunch of views or whatever, then it's like, that's what I'm judging you on. That's you scoring 40 points, you know? And then meanwhile, if you come on the podcast and the comment section quickly fills up with people complaining about you, or it seems like the clips of you having an opinion on something don't really do good, I'm kind of using that to judge your value. But then meanwhile, in the rap game, it's always like, they didn't invest enough in my career. They didn't believe in me. They didn't do this, this, and this that would have actually taken my career to the level that it was supposed to get to.
I want to tell a secret to everybody that's watching this. I'm going to look at the camera when I say this. I think this is mine right here.
Yep.
I can't blow you up. Adam can't blow you up. The people blow you up. What Adam can do is play you on his vlog, and if people like it, then it'll blow up. But Adam can't make those people like you. And this idea that a label or a production company can make you bigger than what you are, that's not how this works. Nobody's going to invest more money into you so that they can make less money back. You know what I'm saying? If I spend 100, I plan on I want to make 10 million. That's how this shit goes. When a label give you $1 million, that's them saying we think we can make 20 to 30 million.
Right.
That's the flip they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this idea to think that somebody can just come along and take your music and blow it up. No, when I found Diego on his channel, it was already moving. He had 10,000 views. I knew people already liked it. So I knew, okay, they like this kid. He a star. I can kind of like craft the talent. Let's get him to go to the studio, give him a place to do his thing, and then actually pick out the right songs. Okay, cool. Oh, Cole Bennett, man, let's have him shoot the Betray video. Okay, Cole, make sure my communication with Cole is right to make like not brushing Cole. And that's what made me and Cole really get close, because during that process of waiting for him to do that video, I never was on Cole like, do this, do that, hurry up. You know, he was like, man, you've been so cool. And it's been like 4 months. He shot that shit, put it out, gone. But that's because it just was the synergy and the people chose up. Because at the time, Cole's channel wasn't like crazy huge. You know what I'm saying?
2017, 2018. I mean, it was big on like more of an underground level.
It had like 30,000 subscribers at the time.
30,000. I feel he has like 20 million now. I feel like he probably had a lot then too.
No. I know. I know.
I remember where I was sitting on the Melrose in 2017 when I first saw the Betrayed video, and like from our perspective, Lyrical Lemonade was already gigantic at that point.
Yeah, it was big because Pump did his thing. It was a bunch of shit going.
Like, but it was so much simpler then because it was just run and gun.
Skies.
It was just running and gun videos. Like I would see Cole Bennett shoot a video in an hour or two. Like I seen him shoot a Lil Wop video. It took probably an hour. We're in a random apartment.
It was different. And like he did that shit and it just took off. But the platform, yes. Because in that same token, you know, working with Cole, has been artists that have put videos up there and Cole was just as big and they didn't blow up.
Yeah.
It's really about the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he did a video for Lotto.
Yeah.
And Lotto ended up being huge. You know what I'm saying? He did a video for Jack Harlow. You know, it's the list go on. First of all, that's why people be like, oh, I seen so much working with Lyrical, and I've like Cole blessed so many young artists and gave them that platform so that they can make that money to feed their families. It was remarkable what was going on that period. Like put the video up, some dude you never heard before. Next thing you know, he's the biggest shit in the world. It was crazy. Like especially like when Juice WRLD came, it was so nuts. Watching nobody know him. Cole take a picture with him. The next thing you know, he's got 10,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. And he's at 100,000. Then the video comes out, 1 billion streams, and he dropped another one. Then boom, and then he's just the biggest shit in the world. Like selling like out stadiums and shit. It was just all those artists. It's like 100. Dog, literally. I'm excited because I'm just thinking about it. I can say it was about 100 artists, male and female, that got deals based off of being on Lyrical Lemonade.
Yeah, it was insane at that point.
Cole was cooking, dog, and I'm just sitting there watching it like,
so
damn.
What were you actually doing for Cole Bennett and Lyrical Lemonade?
Business.
And you had a real conversation with Cole where you said, listen, I want to be your manager and I want to get, do you have a real agreement? Because with managers, it can be kind of weird, right? Did you say I want X percentage of everything? Or He's
told this story, so people have seen this.
Oh, okay.
Cole Bennett did the video for Lil Xan.
Yes.
For Betrayed.
Yeah.
When he did that video for Lil Xan, I only paid Cole like $1,000 for the video.
Okay.
That's all he wanted. We went and got a deal at Columbia, a nice deal. I went to Cole and said, yo, I want to give you some money for the video. I think I offered him like a couple $100,000 first. He was like, no. I'm like, 150. He kept telling me no. I'm like, 100. He like, no. I'm like, dog, I feel insulted. Okay, 60,000. He finally like, he thought I was bullshitting. I gave him the money. He took it. He took that money and he invested all that shit. This is where he's a genius. He got his fulfillment center. He got a place like how you got here.
Right.
In Chicago. He got his whole shit. Started doing his merch and all that. And from that, I told him, since you're not gonna take this money, I'm going to work with you. I was using the term manager at the time. I'm gonna manage you, and I don't want any money. I just want to work with you because I'm so happy for what you did. So when it came down to situations and conversations, you know, where you need to have somebody in there, I would step in. I had different relationships to help him. We worked together hand in hand. It was me, him, his mom, Jake, all of us worked together. It was a family atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? I love him to this day, and his mother, that's my family. I love them. So I got the opportunity to work with, I feel, one of the greatest young minds of this era of music, because what he was doing with those artists, it was transformative. And I believe there will be a documentary made one day. I believe you'll have a documentary as well about what's going on, what has went on in No Jumper, that for sure. But I definitely think there will be a documentary made about Lyrical Lemonade, because that was like, it was his own MTV on live on YouTube. And he never sold out for the money. And we got offered crazy amounts of money for people to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And he never wanted to do it. This around the time when FaZe took some money. Yeah. Cole never wanted to fuck with that. I had everybody coming to offer him big money.
But here's the thing. And were you telling him that he should take the money? Because
absolutely.
Okay. Because this is my thing, and I haven't talked to Cole in a few years, but I have nothing but respect for him and everything like that. But from my perspective, as the years went by, he kind of lost interest in doing Lyrical Lemonade. And I'm not saying he lost interest in its entirety. The music festival still goes on.
Yes.
They do the media side of things where they have these freestyles and they do little interviews and stuff like that. But he himself stopped shooting the music videos.
Yeah.
And it feels like at a certain point, if there was $100 million on the table or even much less, it would have made a lot of sense for him to take it, given where it is now. And I'm not saying the brand's dead or anything, but it feels like he should have probably took that at a certain point.
This is the thing. Okay, so we had I will never forget this, and I was very upset. We had a meeting with some very big people, and they offered a lot of money. They flew in on private planes, and I remember Cole was like, I just don't feel comfortable with doing it. And I was driving him back to his Airbnb. Well, I wasn't driving him. Shout out to my driver, man. He was riding back to the Airbnb. And he looked at me. He could tell I was a little kind of salty about not taking that money. He said, Stat, man, if this don't work out, man, I'll get me a bike, give me some Birkenstocks. I'll just live on the beach, man.
That's what Cole said?
He said, man, don't worry about this, man.
You might need that money they were offering you to live on the beach out here, though.
No, but I'm just, when he told me that,
yeah,
it just gave me a different perspective. It's not about money with him.
He never really seemed super motivated to become the crazy rich guy. Yeah, and even now, like, I don't really know what he's actually doing to make money at this point. We was at
Denny's. I remember we was at Denny's, and he told me he purposely at one time would keep like the lowest amount of money in his bank account,
really,
just so he didn't feel like, just so he could still feel that pressure, even though he had all the money in the world, you know what I'm saying? But he would do that so he could feel that pressure. It pushed him and drove him to keep going, so he wouldn't get comfortable. And he was never driven by money, man.
Yeah.
And so when you say he stopped, he could have rolled that video shit out. He could have took that money. But it's about, he got to be passionate about something. He's always stressed impact. It's all about impact. And like, you got to respect it, because he never sold out nothing. Nothing, dog. You know, that Lyrical Lemonade Festival is one of the only independent festivals. You know the big guys have come in and offered him a bag by now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know that they've, shout out to Birdo, Jake, all the people that work on the festival, and him, and they still maintaining it and keeping it where they're pretty much independent and paying for everything themselves. You know how expensive it is to have these artists show up?
Oh, that's what I think. Every time I look at it, I just think, holy shit, like that's a lot of big artists on this.
And he's paying them.
Yeah.
They're paying them. They're paying them. Dog, I watched him go from, I watched that shit go from just doing a show with Uzi, like one show to a 3-day festival. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'm so blessed to have the opportunity to work with him. Dog, I think about it all the time, that at one point that I was working with him, and then me and that brief stint where I was working with you, that shit was awesome for me. Cause I'm like, damn, I had the pulse of the youth right there. I had no jumper, and I'm working with Lyrical Lemonade. I didn't even tell him that I was working with you, because that would have been a problem. But like, cause you're competitors in a sense.
Yeah.
But
even though we're doing completely different
things,
it was so in the exact same realm. But that was the weird thing about it, is that it's like, I'm doing interviews, and then meanwhile I got everybody trying to sign me to a label deal, trying to get me to sign artists, and I never really wanted to sign artists. And then meanwhile he's doing the music videos, and he got everybody on his dick trying to get him to, I mean, basically like probably do a record label and sign artists and stuff like that. But from my perspective, around that time period of like 2019, 2020, I saw a lot of artists popping up on Lyrical Lemonade that seemed like they probably were signed to him. And it didn't feel like any of them really like worked out the way that they were supposed to. And I'm talking about artists that nobody remembers, that had videos on there that didn't feel like you ever heard about that artist afterwards. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like Cole kind of just got like, I don't want to say disgruntled, but disillusioned with the music industry in a way.
He never liked the music industry. He never liked, and that was kind of like why he never really wanted to be a part of the business. He just thought it was slimy. Yeah. And he has a good reason to feel that way, because it's a slimy business. Right. I tell people all the time, you can't drive straight on a crooked road. You know what I'm saying? And that's the music industry. Like, if you think you're going to be straight up and down and be in this game, that's not how it works. It goes like this. Yeah. It's like the content game, dog. Yeah. Like people, Adam, what do you expect him to do? Yeah. Look what he's dealing with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but in a sense, whether you know it or not, you have created a record label type of atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because you have these people that come on here, they get notoriety, they express themselves, they have their personalities. You keep them up here, they get mad at you for whatever reason. Next thing you know, they got these microphones and cameras, and they're like, man, Adam 22.
yeah. Exact same thing for sure. Yeah.
That shit is going on all the time. They coming over here, they're trying to fight. Dog, that's so crazy. I don't even know how you even deal with that. When I came over here, I'm like, dog, I know for a fact he has had some showdowns or people have come over here with some bullshit.
Not really.
Really? You're lying. All the shit you be having up here.
Who really were trying to do something to me who came here?
Yeah.
No, not really.
No one's ever tried to do nothing to you? These people talk, I guess you know what? It comes across very convincing when I see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a couple times I was gonna call you like, damn. You like, yo. I didn't like watching you get the boxing thing either. I didn't like that. I rock with you, dog.
Yeah.
So I don't like to see you in situations, and
right.
I know you got your, I know what you got your bag or whatever.
To me, like that, the whole thing was a big troll.
Yeah.
You know.
And then people messing with you about your situation with your wife. This is one thing that I don't do and I will not do. Like people get on these podcasts and they talk about relationships. When you do that, right, whatever type of relationship you got, there are other people that are seeing you, right, and you're influencing whatever that relationship is and making that person feel less than they would probably feel because your shit is different. So like when people start speaking on other people's relationship, it ain't even my cause. And y'all, and honestly, I remember you had a party at the house. It was in the hills. Y'all wasn't married yet, you and her.
Right.
And you was telling me that, yo, you know, like I'm gonna marry her. I think she had just had, maybe you had a daughter.
Yeah, we got married like right after we had the kid, maybe a year later.
So you was having that party and you told me, I said, what did she do? You like, oh, she's in the business. I said, dog, how do you deal with that? He's like, man, this is what it is.
Well, but at that time, she hadn't worked with other guys yet. Okay. So to me, it was nothing at that time. Yeah.
So, but I didn't know that. You just told me she was in the. You didn't tell me specifically what was going on. I just knew it was a lot of women up there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yo, damn. I was like, cool. That's his relationship. Like, it's not for me to be talking about what the you doing in your bedroom or whoever. Right. If you want to have her sleep with 1,000 Somalis, you know what I'm saying? If she want to sleep with 1,000 Somalis and put 1,000,000 salamis in her mouth, and as your husband, if that's what y'all want to do, the fuck I gotta deal with it.
And that's my perspective too. And what's crazy though is that we're able to harness that feeling that people have of like, oh my God, I could never do that.
Because you're not doing it.
But meanwhile, like when I see a gay couple,
I could never do that either.
Right. What goes through my head is like, well, yeah, I guess if I were to like really like sit there and think about a gay couple, I would think like, God, I could never put a dick in my ass. But I don't care at all. And it's easy for me to understand that this gay couple is into shit that I'm not into. And so it's kind of bizarre to me that people have like such a hard time wrapping their head around the idea that a relationship could be open in some way. But we're able to like really capitalize and profit off of the fact that people are so fascinated by that dynamic.
But I watched a thing y'all did an interview, you and her, and y'all was talking about the finances.
Yeah.
And how y'all break it down, and she pays for this and you pay for this, right? And I'm looking at that shit like most relationships aren't like this.
Yeah.
Most men are out here busting their ass trying to pay for everything. They can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or some women out here busting their ass and the man just sitting at home. Y'all got a real partnership.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck is everybody up in arms? If that's what they want to do, that's what the fuck they want to do. But, and for what you said, yo, we had 1,000,000 threesomes. She had watched me fuck millions of girls.
Yeah, she watched me fuck a bunch of girls this week.
And
like,
so
for content.
So I'm about to be tripping.
Yeah.
Like, man, f that. Go get your shit off.
But the weird thing about it is that nobody really cared when me and her were doing porn before she started working with other guys. That's when it became really interesting to people. But okay, question. Was there a moment where you stopped working with Cole as closely? Or is the relationship similar? Or like what was the point where it kind of became different?
So he did a album deal with Def Jam. And then
what year was that?
I think that,
the album that came out a couple of years ago, right?
Yes,
that was a whole.
This was like the last year of us working together.
That kind of like capped off the whole Lyrical Lemonade 1.0 saga, if you ask me, because now it feels like he's trying to transition it into more of like a media company type thing.
Exactly. So I'm not a part of that at all.
Okay, because there was a big announcement a couple months ago that he did like a Lyrical Lemonade TV type deal.
Yeah, I think Jake had said something to me about that.
Okay.
Jake Milan, who works closely with Cole.
Lil Jake.
Yes, Lil Jake. Shout out to Jake. He's actually not little, which is crazy. He's tall.
No, yeah, he's tall as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I guess it's like a play on words. But after that album, that was kind of like we did a deal with Pepsi for the beverage, and then we did the album deal, and that was kind of like the end of it.
But wait, Pepsi signed the beverage? Because recently I was trying to like find out if the beverage still existed, and I was searching.
Yeah, we did a deal with Pepsi,
and I found it like listed on like Walmart and Amazon, but then when I tried to actually click it, it said it wasn't in stock.
Yeah, we did it with Pepsi, and then I no longer was working on it, so I don't know what actually ended up happening with that, or if it's still available. But yeah, that was pretty much it. That was the end. I guess that album coming out with, like you said, that was Lyrical Lemonade 1.0. And this whole new thing that they're doing, which I know it's going to be successful because that's just who he is as a person. I have nothing to do with that. But when I was around, like that's when he was with Kenya Barris, and like he was talking about doing the Wizard of Oz and all that type of stuff and the movies, because that's kind of like where I saw him going, which I'm sure that he's doing that now. I think he's doing a documentary on what's the guy name?
Oh,
Chief Keef or something.
Yeah, he announced that at one
with
point.
Kenya Barris.
Okay, yeah.
So I introduced him to Kenya Barris.
Okay.
So they continued their relationship clearly after.
So he signed a deal with Pepsi, but then nothing has really happened since then, or is that?
Well, what happened was, I think it was just with COVID and all the other stuff, it just wasn't launched correctly.
Okay.
You know, with that with products, and I learned that through this situation, they'll put you in the store, but that shit has to move immediately. They don't play like that. Like, so you can go in there, and if it's not moving, they pulling you out fast. Yeah,
they have insane analytics. Because I asked ChatGPT recently, like if I were to start an energy drink, which for the record I do not plan on doing, but I was just curious about like what the hurdles are for somebody.
Why haven't you done that?
I mean,
bugging.
When it comes to energy drink, though, you got to be so goddamn big to get that shit off the ground. Even Prime with KSI and Logan Paul behind it feels like it's kind of struggling. I don't see that shit in 7-Eleven.
Well, it might be struggling now, but
it was huge at first.
So look what they already cashed out.
Okay, but like you're right. But when it comes to energy drink, 7-Eleven has their own analytics that's basically figuring out how much the store space that they are devoting to your product
but
is
I'm saying
worth.
For you, just like Cole, right? You have a personal infrastructure where you can offer to sell it without going to the stores.
True.
You have this space here. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it off camera, but you have this space here where you can literally store the shit, and this is a commercial.
Yeah.
And you can have it sitting right there. Sitting right, like when we shoot the third verse, we have gin and juice sitting right there. That's Dre and Snoop and Jimmy's product. We have it sitting on the table.
Gin and juice, and it is an alcoholic beverage?
Yes, an alcoholic beverage. We have it sitting on the table. You could be doing the same thing with No Jumper Energy or whatever it is. No Jumper cereal. It's just a good name.
The thing about energy drinks or drinks in general, though, is that people buy them sort of off the cuff at the store. Like not many people are ordering like a 30 rack of an energy drink to keep in their fridge.
That's the same way that we're going live for your members right now that pay $5-6 a month for your content. Yeah, they'll pay for that drink.
Right.
And you make just enough to where you're satisfying them. You don't have all that crazy inventory. It's a good business. Right. What are you selling right here?
Content?
Nah, Adam. You gotta have.
We could be selling more. You're right. Yeah,
like that sweatshirt you got. That shit is dope as.
This shit is from probably 2018. I just busted it out for the first time in so long.
What I'm saying, why we don't got more of those?
Yeah, merch is tough.
But bruh, merch is tough because people make too much product.
Merch is, bro, like you go back to 2020, you had people like the Nelk Boys and Logan Paul and all these dudes just printing money off merch. That era is way different now.
If I make 40 shirts, right, and I pay $100 or $400 to make 40 shirts, right, and then I go and sell those shirts for $100 a piece, right? That's $4,000, right?
Sure.
That's money.
It's money.
You just made a quick flip. That guy behind that screen over there, that pays a salary.
Yeah.
That dude that walked in here pays a salary. And what did you do? Nothing. Yeah. They're here to consume anyway. They're watching you. Yeah. So you have all this content for hours on end and don't have commercials for your own shit.
The thing about it, I think though, is that at this point in time, I feel like if I'm gonna and I would like to do a clothing brand, but I don't know that it needs to be called No Jumper.
But that's what whatever it is, I'm just saying.
I don't think World Stars merch was ever really going to be all that successful.
The name No Jumper, just like Lyrical Lemonade, should be a product. Yeah. I'm just telling you, I'm not,
No, you're right.
It should. The fact that you're not selling, no, you got 5 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Third verse has 6,000. We still got gin and juice sitting at that motherfucker.
But that's relationships.
I don't give a fuck what we talking about.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
But all the other podcasts that have 6,000 followers or whatever, might not necessarily get the Snoop and Dre liquor deal.
But what I'm saying to you is, I'm just saying, I don't care. Something was going to be on that table.
Yeah.
I was going to promote something.
Yeah.
If it's 5 people, that's 5 people I could sell something to.
Yeah.
People always want to hit the home run, Adam.
Yeah.
Like, dog, just get on base.
Yeah.
You saying, clothing line's hard. Yeah, it's hard. You trying to be fucking Ralph Lauren. You don't need to be Ralph Lauren. Everybody want to be Gatorade. What's wrong with Powerade?
I guess at certain points we've made clothing that's sold disappointingly.
You made too much.
You know who? It's not really. You know Lil Xan?
No.
Okay, he's one of the hosts on here. He's a crazy ass white dude in a Mexican gang, and he had this whole narrative where he had this viral freestyle where he called himself the cocaine bot. And it was super viral with our audience at that time. And I remember we made shirts that was like him as the Terminator with fucking snowflakes. It was this whole cocaine bot dynamic or whatever. And I think we made 100 and sold 18. But that was kind of depressing. And I was kind of I feel like ever since then we sort of fell back on the merch.
Okay, so you look at how many members you have, active, that's spending the most money, and you make merch for them.
Yeah, that's true. I should get on it. But okay, wait. So when your time with Dre and M had clearly came to an end, was that you also being frustrated with music in general, or did you keep your career going past that point?
Okay, so
because you put the album out in 2014, but it was a different album.
That was some bullshit.
Okay, right.
So when my time came to the end with M, I was depressed. I didn't have no M and Dre. I was depressed. I went through a little something, but then Dre invited me back out to LA to work with him, but as a writer.
Got it.
And from that, I was writing for everybody that was coming through there and then working with him. Because when you work with Dre, it's more like a collaborative type of deal. So we're all in there just putting it together.
Right.
And then I remember my rent check had bounced. And then I had stopped working with Dre at this time. And my rent check bounced. I was like, damn. They had called me at the rent office. I was staying at this place called the Piero downtown. And all I had was this Mercedes that Dre had bought me. And I sold that Mercedes. And then I paid my rent. And then I had, it was my homeboy, Matthew Schultz. Let me call him Matt Fingers. He had a guy that wanted to get a verse from Game. And I'm like, yeah, I called Game. I remember when Game was practicing for the Drew League. I went over there. I'm like, hey, yo, you do a verse for my homeboy or whatever? Game said, I'll do it for free for you, Stat. He did that verse for free. I think Matt charged the dude $30,000, and me and Matt split the money. So from selling my car, I sold my car for $40-something thousand, and then I got the 15 from the deal with Game doing a verse. And then from that, when Game did that verse, I didn't leave right after. Me and Game always worked on music with Dre. So whoever would come over, me and Game would be writing hooks and everything for them. Me and Game just worked well together. You know what I'm saying? And we just had a good flow. So I started working with him, literally producing and working with Game. You know what I'm saying? He's writing crazy shit. I'm helping him put the record together. And we did a mixtape called OKE. And Game split that profit with me 50-50. He put it out through Empire, and we just had a good working relationship. And this is where I first start. This is when I meet Wack.
Right.
So I'm working with Game. We did the Jesus Peace album. I think Game at that point wasn't necessarily, I don't think Wack was the manager then. I think Tato was, I believe. And my homeboy that worked at Interscope, DJ Moore Millie, got me a $30,000 check for working for A&R in that project from Game's budget. You know what I'm saying? DJ is Jimmy Iovine's nephew. That's who I do the podcast with.
Okay.
So he got me that.
Oh, that's Jimmy Iovine's nephew. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So yeah. So that's how, like, I'm just telling you, literally, I went from broke to having a couple of dollars.
But were you depressed about the fact that, yes, writing is dope, being in the music industry in general is dope, making money is dope, but for a period of time, you thought that you were going to be a big rap star?
Well, of course, I felt that way.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm the type of person that you got to pick up your pieces and move and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there and dwell and over, you know, you can't cry over spilled sperm. You know what I'm saying? As I tell people that have babies out of wedlock. So like, that was the whole shit. I was more like, what frustrated me the most about rap is how hard I worked on my bars, and people just did not give a fuck. Like how good I was, and people just did not acknowledge how good I was.
Right.
That frustrated me the most. One of the first times where I felt some jealousy was when I watched Kendrick at the Pop Out and he performed Euphoria. And all those people in there knew that complicated ass rap by heart. I'm like, these are the same people that wouldn't break down my little double and triple entendres. Right. This motherfucker is up here saying a parable. This shit is so complex. They know it word for word. I'm like, what in the fuck do I have to do? I mean, I'm far removed from my career, but that was one of the first times I felt jealousy.
The era where you came out was kind of like the beginning of the end of the lyrical era in a way. Like, I feel like when 50 came out, and you know, even Jeezy right after him and shit, that was kind of when everybody starts to realize, like, oh, rappers aren't going to necessarily be boasting and bragging about being the best rapper anymore. Yeah. That was kind of like the introduction to that being the new template. Because, I mean, you could go back to like the late 90s. Obviously, somebody like Puffy's not trying to be the best rapper, but like the best rappers of that era, or the biggest rappers, were largely lyrical rappers. Jay, Nas, M, etc. And then by the time you get to like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, that's starting to sort of fade away.
But man, yeah, I really thought I was gonna be the biggest rapper in the world, and I wanted to be, and it just wasn't in the cards for me. But dog, I have been successful at everything that I wanted to do in music. Yeah, as an artist, as a writer, as a manager, having my own production company and label, and now doing and getting into the media space. That's why I tell people I have won at everything. I knew nothing about the beverage industry. I helped secure a deal with Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? I was in talks with Junior Bridgman before he died to do it with Coca-Cola. We hadn't even sold anything in stores. Right. You know what I mean? Those guys that work at that company, it's $1 billion corporation that they in there talking with me. You get what I'm saying? I've done it all in this shit and won at everything. Right. Every fucking thing. I'm blessed like a motherfucker. Cause somebody say, yo, you didn't put your album out. I made millions of dollars as a rapper. As Stat Quo the rapper. Believe it or not, guys, I made millions of dollars as a rapper, which is crazy. So when somebody like, yeah, you weren't successful, I made $1 million. The fuck? I ain't never not made $1 million doing anything. And so now I'm doing the Third Verse podcast. I'm a win at that. Adam, I'm a winner. Yeah. If I say, yo, Adam, let's do this and do that. Let's do this product. We're gonna do it and it's gonna work. Right. I just know how to win. Yeah. I'm just saying some people got that shit.
No, definitely. I mean, like, that's the whole thing, is that there's only going to be so many successful or even profitable rappers in any given year. Absolutely. You have to be able to, once it becomes clear to you that this is not going to be the thing that's going to make you a millionaire, you got to be able to pivot out of it.
And people, because I don't talk about all the shit I do and the shit I've done, I don't brag. I'm not braggadocious. I don't do that. You know, I'm low key. Like I don't be doing that shit. I think I went through like a little midlife crisis. I bought like a Rolls Royce. I bought all this shit. I think I was just going through some shit. Just wanting to be flashy.
I mean,
whatever.
even making it to 2026 without having done a real full in-depth interview is pretty rare.
It's crazy.
You told me 2018, like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm not trying to be out in the public eye like that.
Not at all. But now because I'm literally publicly talking shit every goddamn week. So it's like, why would I not sit down with a guy who had my back? So and I'm gonna get my Ray Daniels on and go, because I know all these people. So I'm not doing it right now, but I'm gonna run the gambit when it's time.
But that's an interesting person you mentioned, because Ray Daniels is somebody who probably, like, in terms of just making money, would be smarter to just spend all his time working with artists. But he sees that being a public figure through media has such value that he needs to take a lot of his time and put it into that.
This is the thing. Ray's been a star. Right.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I was working with Rock City with my ex.
That was Akon's group, right?
Yeah. So Tehran, that's who he manages, Tehran and Rock City. Prolific writers.
Right.
Some of the biggest in the music industry. So when people just try to talk about Ray and he ain't doing shit, relax.
Yeah.
If
anything, he hasn't done a good enough job letting everyone know everything that he's been involved with, because he's been involved with so much over the years.
It's like when people talk about Akon. You know, Akon was a star or partners with Jeffree Star on that makeup shit. Yeah. People don't even know that. It's a lot. Like, people talk about me. I've been working with Cole Bennett for the last how many other years? Like, are you kidding me? Who dominated the music industry?
Behind the scenes is always like so much harder to get recognition for, but also the recognition, right?
But we're not. It's not about like bragging. So that's the thing. Like, going back to Ray, when I say he's a star, I remember I'm in the studio session with him. He come in with one outfit. So they writing for my ex at the time. This dude, probably like 2 hours later, he comes back in a whole nother outfit. Like, what the fuck is you doing? He's like, yeah, had to update my fresh. This dude is working in the record industry. He's not a personality. This is none of that. This is way before any of that. I'm like, oh, dude, a star. Yeah. Like, I remember Kenny Burns told me, he's like, when you realize that, yeah, you can do this music shit, but you a star. You're a personality. You got so much shit to say. You got billion stories about everybody. You've been everywhere. And you start doing that, it's over with. And that's what it is. It's about to be over with. I'm just telling you. So some people got it. He got it. I got it. It's a dude named Money Making Matt. He got it. It's a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying, that have that personality that y'all don't see, but these motherfuckers been on their shit from behind the scenes. And I'm that guy. Like, you come to the studio, we gonna crack jokes. I'm gonna embarrass you. Everybody gonna be laughing. I'm hilarious. It's just only a matter of time, Adam. Because some people are winners. As much as they hate you and don't like you, Adam 22 just keep on with his no jumper. Yeah,
but my thing is, when I look at my life, and I have, like, you know, a lot more ambition to create big businesses. I think my next successful business, I probably won't be taking credit for it. I'll probably be like funding it, masterminding it, but ultimately it's like I'll have somebody else be the face of it.
Because you've been outside. And that goes back to Ray. Just like me, the reason why I was so against being in the limelight is because I had performed at stadiums with Eminem. And I'm like, damn, you really don't get to do what you want to do.
Yeah, fame is a prison when you're him.
It sucks. Yeah. And even for you, when you go somewhere, hey, Adam, that shit sucks. You just trying to be low key.
But I just have to think about Eminem and be like, hey, I'm at the party and I took 20 selfies. Yeah. And some guy gave me some weed.
He can't go to the party.
Yeah, he can't even go to the party. If he goes to the party, he needs to roll with a mob of security, and it's just going to be awkward as fuck. You can see why he moves the way he lives. For Michael Jordan, fame is a prison.
One of the most fascinating conversations is talking to Dre about stores.
Yeah.
Just asking him when the last time he been to Target. When the last time you been to Rouse?
Yeah.
When the last time you was on a commercial flight?
Oh, yeah.
When the last time you was on a bus? Just regular shit. When the last time you just walked down the street by yourself?
It's just ancient history to him at this point.
They don't do that.
He probably lives in a gated community where he could go for a stroll, right?
Well, it's like on a hill.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not going to go stroll on it. But his house itself, it's a stroll.
Yeah.
He can walk around his house. It's like, and what he did, not to put his business out there, he built a replica of the Santa Monica stairs in his backyard.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what.
That's insane. That's got to be a hell of a yard.
Bruh, it's so crazy. He has, you know, the Santa Monica stairs.
Yeah.
The exact same shit in the backyard.
It's probably like 100,
right
200.
Next to his
it's like
big,
200 stairs.
Right next to his big ass chicken coop where he has eggs and chickens and all his shit fresh and a garden and all that type of shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's
shout out to Charlie Red.
Because when I was at the Calabasas stairs a couple months ago, I seen Kevin Hart coming down, and he's with two big ass dudes who are probably either like actually his bodyguards or just functioning as his bodyguards. But even Kevin Hart, you know, he got the hood up and he's like moving like, you know, real fast, like coming away from it and stuff. Because I mean, Kevin Hart is like famous as but I feel like if you're Dre, he's just not that guy. He don't want to be constantly dealing with that attention and shit.
Every time he would go over there because he loved it.
Yeah.
You know, it just, he couldn't get through the workout. And then you don't want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
But you're trying to get your shit off. So
that's what you have to choose between is just being an asshole or being a man of the people. And being a man of the people is great, but you only want to do it when it feels right, you know? Listen,
when I saw that shit, that Santa Monica stair shit in his backyard, I was like, it's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
It's levels to it. I'm just happy that I have the opportunity to get so much knowledge from him. I'm just so proud of him.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm under him, but I'm just proud of him. He make me, man, he drives me to be better every fucking day. Every time when I'm just feeling down and I want to be inspired, I'll just FaceTime him. I'll call him. I'll go to the house. He'd be like, man, come over to the house. And I just go over there, man. He just lift my spirits, man. Just being around him. He's just so magnetic. Like, I love that guy, man. I love him, and I appreciate him so much for being who he is to me. Like, he's somebody that's my everything. I feel like that about Wack. That's my guy, too. So it's just like family. But Dre is just like, man, that's Dr. Dre, man. And that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I forget that sometimes because he don't come off like that. It's not like, yo, I'm Dre. Like, he don't do that.
Yeah.
Nigga just cool. Like, it's just my partner.
But do you like, all right, from my perspective, my fan take on Dre is that he's almost like too meticulous with the music because you feel like it seems like he just gets trapped with the music to the point where it's not big enough or it's not done. So he ends up kind of like not releasing music for huge amounts of time.
But how do you argue with success?
Yeah.
That's like Sade only put out 2 or 3 albums, but she wanted the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
She only had to do 2 or 3. Lauryn Hill did 1 album and then some unplugged shit.
Right.
How you argue with his success?
Yeah.
Whatever he did, it worked, right?
But do you feel like there's something where he could put out more music, but it's
why?
just is he that scared of like taking an L, like putting out an album that doesn't perform and it looks bad on his legacy?
He's not gonna put it out unless he feels right about it.
Yeah.
And I made this comment on the 3rd verse, like they was talking about Eminem and why they not touring and why Dre not touring. I'm just like, I could tell you exactly why they're not touring, because they don't want to. And I can tell you why Dre's not putting out more music, because he doesn't want to. If he want to put out some music, he's gonna do it, and he's earned the right through what he has given us to say, I don't want to do that.
But does he just work on music every day? And
he does what he want to do every day. So if he want to work on music, he does.
But from your perspective, is Dre's average day is he work on music for a big chunk of it?
He works on music a lot, but if sometimes he don't, sometimes he does. From my perspective, I can tell you this: that man wakes up every day of his life and does exactly what he wants to do every day, and that's the dream. It's not the money, Adam.
Right.
It's being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Yeah, Dre's life would look a lot different if he was really just trying to money maximize.
Yeah, he never chased the money. That's one thing I respected about Cole, because Dre never chased the money. It was the headphones wasn't about money, because he got offered a sneaker deal before. That was a shoe. Shay Vicious had put together this whole thing. I forgot what company it was. Beats was supposed to be a tennis shoe. And Jimmy came to the house and saw the proposal. And I think it was like for $30-40 million they was offering him. And Dre was like, I don't really know if I want to do this, but it's a lot of money. And Jimmy was like, man, don't do sneakers, do speakers. That was the quote on the studio wall of No Excuses across the street from Interscope. Because Beats was supposed to be tennis shoes.
Right.
And they took that, Jimmy with his mind, got with Will.i.am and start working with designers and put that shit together. Jimmy's a mastermind. And Will, and they put it all together. and Beats became what it became. You know, LeBron helped with wearing them with the Olympic team, and that shit took off massive, dog. And it, like, look at that.
Yeah.
All because he didn't just jump to do stuff. Like, he said, yo, I'm not doing that.
And like, you know, we were saying with like the narratives about artists falling off or whatever, it's like, you know, if there was a narrative that like, oh, you remember when Dre did those whack ass sneakers? I mean, that shit is loud. And that shit kind of, when people talk about Dre's career or whatever, they focused on a few bullet points. Oh, this album was crazy big. This album was crazy big. He did the headphone deal. Most people don't really have enough room in their brain to like really remember that much shit, you know? So it's like, you know, like Master P, people still like, if you really talk to rap fans, they'll talk about how he had some ugly ass sneakers at some point, you know?
Those sneakers was terrible. Shout out to P though.
P's like one of the most successful music executives, especially like coming from a street background of all time. Sometimes it's a lot more appetizing to focus in on one thing that didn't work, or that's if you do reality TV. Oh Lord. I mean, that reality TV will get you so much more attention than almost any business deal you're ever going to do, you know, because it's right there live in front of your face. It's meant to entertain you. So it's like you have that choice though as a public figure. Is like, do you want to publicize all of your business dealings, or do you want to kind of be a little bit more low key about it? You know, it's like that seems very attractive to me as I get older, where every success I've ever had has basically been me putting myself out there in front of the camera. I signed one porn star that made me millions of dollars. And that was like one of the only times that I did.
How does that work? That's kind of like pimping.
No, but it was that was just literally like, hey, sign this deal. We're gonna get 20% of your OnlyFans for the next 2 years.
You
Boom.
don't think that's pimping?
Pimping, you get money from the clients. Like the girl, the money from the clients. Whereas like from our perspective, you get paid money for the content of what they're doing with other guys.
I love you. You know, I love you. That's pimping.
In a way, it's similar to pimping.
It's the same shit. It's just a different. It's just the money's coming from a different place. It's all coming from the person.
But also, like that girl, relatively quickly stopped even doing porn. She blew up so big that she just started to just do nude photo shoots and shit like that.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, but she had that luxury because she
blew up so big. How do you, as a porn star, how do you just flip that and just be like, yo, you know what? I'm in a relationship. Is it like tell me the mind, because you deal with a lot of these women. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, do they have boyfriends and girlfriends and shit? Like,
a lot of them do, or a lot of them are just kind of like, yeah, I'm not dating anybody at this point. Like, you know, the girls who are doing fucking 5 days a week of doing porno, a lot of them are just like, I don't have time or room or interest in dating right now. But then a lot of them just do. They just have a regular ass thing on the side. You
clearly get your shit off. You still do the.
Mm-hmm.
How? So you have an OnlyFans and people sign and watch you.
Well, for us, we just have a show called Plug Talk where me and my wife interview a different girl every week and then have sex with her on camera. And you can watch the interview on YouTube.
How long has this been happening?
4 years, 5.
Wait a minute.
Years? Yeah.
Oh, you told her.
I know. Maybe we're not getting the word out enough if you don't know about it.
Adam.
What?
They come on.
Yeah.
And then y'all fuck the girl on camera?
Yeah.
Everybody sees it?
We'd sell it to the world on OnlyFans. Yeah.
You showing your dick?
Plugtalk.com. Yes. You didn't know I do porn?
No.
Oh, that's fire. Hell yeah.
The fuck are you doing?
You thought my wife was just getting by other guys and not by me on camera?
I thought y'all had threesomes at the crib.
No. We do.
You a porn star?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I should have pounded you up.
All right. This is the crazy thing that you're not going to be able to wrap your head around. My wife is at some point, and I'm not going to name how long, but she's going to stop doing porn and she's just going to have kids, and I'm going to keep doing porn. So that's going to be a whole. Yeah, we talked about it. That's a whole new chapter in my life that's going to happen at some point.
So, because she did a part 2 with the guy, right?
Yeah, and then she shot with probably maybe 8 other dudes.
Oh.
Over the years. Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I've seen it. Not the whole thing necessarily, but I've seen parts of it. Yeah.
Yo, you a gangster, dog. You a gangster.
Thank you.
You are a gangster. What kind of marriage is this? Where y'all get married at? Fucking hell.
Pretty close.
How the fuck you do that? Where
there's no big deal.
Where was she made at to allow you just over a 4-year period to just be fucking women and interviewing?
Glendale.
Damn, what? I've been to Glendale a lot. That's where the Target is. I never seen nobody like your wife.
She's probably like the only one doing this sort of thing.
That's crazy. Yo, unicorn. How did y'all get? Like, how did this start? Y'all was just sitting watching The Simpsons. And you like, you know what we should do? Plug talk. Like, how did this?
We had an offer from a company basically that wanted to like help us do X-rated podcasts, but they just wanted to do shit where like the girls would take their boobs out or whatever. And when me and her talked about it, we were just like, that's stupid as fuck. Like, we want to like, if we're gonna interview a girl, we should fuck her. And so we just went in our own direction.
Do you ever get tired of fucking?
No.
Come on, bring it in there.
No.
Man, you are a fucking.
Every time I do porn, it's like, holy fuck. I feel so lucky to be making money from doing this.
You are incredible.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Incredible diapers.
Oh yeah, incredible diapers, my boy.
I'm wearing one right now.
No, you're not wearing a diaper.
No, I do. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
That's fucking nuts. Adam, I had no clue when I was coming over here. I'm sitting next to the porn star. This motherfucker Adam out here.
You can go to the store and buy Adam 22 fleshlight. Fleshlight.
What's a fleshlight?
Well, for women, it's a mold of your vagina. For me, it's a mold of my penis.
You have a mold of your dick in the store?
You can go online right now and buy it, yeah.
I don't even know who my friends are. I don't even know you, dog.
They know. They're all like, dog. Holy fuck, Stat doesn't know this.
You know you weren't doing porn back when I was fucking, you didn't do that.
I was doing like OnlyFans with my girl, but I wasn't like.
Not in 2018?
Yeah, but I wasn't like promoting
OnlyFans was around?
Yeah.
Damn, you been, so are them girls really making that amount of money on there like that?
My girl is. Some girls are, but not all of them.
Does she have a foot page?
No.
Okay, I got homeboys that love feet.
You could probably like buy a custom foot video on her OnlyFans, I'm pretty sure.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
How many women? So every week y'all have a different girl?
Yeah, basically.
Have any repeats?
Yeah.
Damn. So how do you get? You take submissions? Like what happens?
People DM me. We throw them on the spreadsheet. You know.
So women just DM you and say, "Hey, I want to fuck you and your wife."
Yeah.
What?
And then I submit that link to the girl's profile to the Plug Talk group chat, and then we decide if we're going to do it or not. I am a lot less picky than my wife is.
You are stealing money. You're stealing it.
No, we've built an enterprise.
No, I'm saying, but this is someone's dream somewhere.
Yeah.
This is someone's dream. What do you do today at work? Well, I'm going in. Me and my wife are gonna fuck this girl, and then we're gonna talk to her first, and then we're gonna fuck her.
But this is the weird thing: is that when my wife retires, like I did 2 scenes with this, like 2 Plug Talk episodes the other day, and I had this other girl, this super hot poppin' porn star named Alana. She was like the fill-in for Lena. So this is like my make-believe wife for the day because we're interviewing girls together.
Oh, because your wife didn't do it that day.
She just didn't. She was just busy that day. Like she had other shit going on. So it's like, but it's also kind of like in the lead up to the fact that in the future she'll probably be retired having
personal
kids.
question.
Yeah.
Don't get offended.
Sure.
Do y'all still fuck, like outside of it?
Yeah.
So that's business, and then y'all. So is the business fucking different than the home fucking?
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
What's the difference? Not to get in your bit. I mean, we going here. I'm sorry.
I mean,
the camera's not here, Adam.
When the camera's on, the positions that you do are the positions that look good for the camera. And when you're fucking at home, like even
give me a position that look good.
Most basic sex position is the girl's laying on her back. Yes. You're on top of her. You're doing missionary. In porn, that doesn't exist.
Wow.
Because you're covering her whole body with your body.
Yes.
So we do missionary. But you're fully like leaned back so the camera can see her whole body as well as your penis going in and out of her, like shit like that.
So from the back, y'all got to go sides. They film from the side so they can see the going in. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. There's like, or even just
who are you, bro?
You know, where do you come?
Does Wack know you do this?
I'm gonna be real with you. This might destroy some people's fantasies. Is that I'm not giving my wife facials at home at 9 p.m. before we go to bed.
Well, you're not busting in her face at the crib.
I know, but I'm saying, like, you know, people who watch porn probably think that's what everybody does.
It's people that lust after your wife.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I guess that's what it is. Because there's some women that lust after you. Clearly,
yeah, I'm less familiar with them, but I'm aware that they're probably out there.
They wanna. It's not like y'all running out of applicants.
To the porn girls, I mean, they're pretty impressed by me. I would say it's safe to say because it's so out there to be a guy who's like famous, quote unquote, and is still open to his wife and other guys, as well as actually doing porn. Like, you can't really think of anybody else who's like a public figure who would do that. So a lot of times when we interview girls, there's just a moment where they'll be like, man, I want to have a relationship like you guys.
Has it fucked you over with like different sponsors and getting money outside, like corporate wise?
Almost certainly. But there's probably other things that would stop that as well. So, yeah.
Damn, hey, man, listen, I admire that.
I appreciate it.
I admire that.
Wait, okay, my last question is, tell me about starting this podcast, because the name, The Third Verse, is kind of interesting because that is a common hip-hop experience. You go back to listen to an old Jay-Z song, and at some point you realize, like, oh my God, this guy really went in 3 times. Like, that's insane. Nobody does that anymore.
Well, it's a lost art in music. So the podcast is a lost perspective.
Right.
That we speak from, because the way we did business, a lot of people don't do business like that. So our perspective and the way we see things is still relevant now, but a lot of people don't do it. So it's just that perspective on things. Like, for instance, being vulnerable as a writer and knowing that you have contributed to some negatives that have happened in hip hop. No one's saying that. Okay, talking about, you know what, I don't know if I want to do that business deal, or saying, you know what, there's no such thing as independent. When people say, oh, I'm independent, there's no such thing as independent in music. Because when you drop a song, where you putting it?
Yeah.
iTunes, Apple, Spotify, they taking a percentage, right? That's a company, just like Universal is. If my podcast independent, I ain't with no company. Where you putting it? What's YouTube?
Right.
Where you on straight? So that point of view, that perspective, or saying, you know what, that's their relationship. It's none of my business. Not that perspective is not out there like that. It should be, but it's not. So it's like the third verse.
Right.
It's not out there either.
Yeah.
So that's where it stems from.
That's dope. Yeah. And how close are you with Justin, the company man? Like, was he just the obvious person for you to start this with?
So it was actually old girl that was with Nadeska. It was originally gonna be me, Nadeska, and DJ.
But does Nadeska live out here?
No, she lives in New York, but originally it was going to be us 3, but then she got pregnant.
Really? I didn't know that.
And so then what happened was Justin, he would always just call me and ask me questions about what was going on and stuff in hip hop. We end up having debates on the phone. And me and DJ have been friends for over 20 years, and we work together managing producers and artists or whatever. And so I'm like, yo, you know what? We should have Justin, because I feel like with me and DJ, it'll be too silly. You got to have like a real person. Like you have made yourself into a journalist, whether you know it or not. When you speak, you sound professional, and it's just like Justin. He's like, I'm the company man. Like that shit.
Well, would you say that he's like the more academic side of things, and you're a little bit more flavorful?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I'm in there cutting up, acting silly. I didn't do it with you today, but like that's the shit I'm on. I'm acting silly. I'm talking all kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm the animated one. DJ's very animated, but he's got to get more comfortable.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's really dope, dog. It's the beginning. I appreciate you for you even reaching out and having me up here.
No, for sure.
I love you.
I wanted to do this forever. So when I actually started like watching clips from your podcast, I was like, if he's doing this, for sure I got to be able to get him to do an interview, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of other podcasts that are like on your level that have asked me to come on, but I told Wack, I'm like, yo, I have to do No Jumper first.
I appreciate
because of you.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't know you was a porn star. I didn't know I was sitting here with the new Dirk Diggler. This shit is fucking wild. Adam 22. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, you don't find like a lot of other people who are like successful in one thing and then are like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing porn too. I'm gonna keep doing the other thing, but I'm gonna start doing porn too.
Boxing, porn. Dog, you're the first boxing porn executive I've ever met.
The boxing chapter of my life was short-lived.
Are you crazy? Why did you do that?
Just for fun, for
lulz. I mean, for the money, it gets cool, but like you knew you wasn't gonna win. This guy's big.
Yeah, I mean, I did my best. But
I felt so bad.
You don't feel bad. I didn't even feel bad.
I felt bad. I was mad as. I wanted you to win.
The only person in the Airbnb after I lost that was upset was my boxing trainer.
Oh yeah, you embarrassed him.
I think he had the win.
You didn't even throw no punches though, dog. Yeah. What were you doing?
That's my one thing I regret. I would have snuck a punch in there. But I am very thankful. I'm thankful I didn't get like laid out.
You fight better than that in real life.
Probably.
I know you do. What the fuck are you talking about?
I've been fighting people smaller than myself my whole life.
But I'm saying
not my whole life, but when I was fighting.
But that wasn't a good. thing to like when people see that, like, damn, Adam can't fight at all. I know for a fact you fight better than that.
For sure, better than that. Yeah.
I wonder if Wack gonna fight somebody.
No.
You don't think so?
No. He got hella fades that he's owed over here even.
Really?
Yeah.
Wack can fight, man. I want to say this, man. I know a lot of y'all don't like Wack, man. Stall him out, man. He's a really good dude. He's solid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
good man.
Good man. You know, so I see a lot of the stuff going on. It's a lot of good guys that come up here. All y'all, I support everybody, man. We're Crip Mac. I love Crip Mac.
Love Crip Mac.
Blueface. All the different guys, the characters you made up here. Unc. All these guys you turn. You know, we love Big U. I know him and Wack got their thing. We love the Crips, the Bloods. We love the Vice Lords, the everything. We love everything. I want to thank Los Angeles as a whole for ingratiating me and allowing me to work in this business and do my thing out here. I also want to say Adam really does love San Diego. And he thinks there are a lot of great artists in San Diego, and he didn't mean to say that about y'all, San Diego.
I didn't mean it, and I'm doubling down, and I want to see San Diego step it up in the new year.
No, he loves San Diego. He's gonna get a house there. Him and Lena, they're gonna retire. He's gonna still be having OnlyFans on the beach, but he's gonna be doing his thing. So San Diego, stall my man out.
The old argument that San Diego got into with No Jumper was because people were basically asking like San Diego was soft and it's pussy, etc.
It's definitely not soft,
right? But I remember when they got offended by that a few years back, and then me saying that it's basically not a music city. Or that
Mitchie Slick came out of there
for sure. But you're naming one rapper from 20 years ago. I'm just saying it's like, you know, a lot of people. You know, I don't even understand how anyone from San Diego can take themselves seriously by getting offended by that, because it's like, bruh, if you ask the AI, name the top 10 rappers out of San Diego, it is not a good situation.
What's that dude, Rob Knox? He was out of there? Rob Stone.
But then if you ask chat, like, who are the top 10 rappers out of Northern California or out of the Bay or out of LA or out of, you know, San Diego got to step it up if they want to be considered in that
I think it's
world.
your delivery.
Yeah. I just say it how it is.
It was your, no, you gotta.
Up North got mad because I said that Northern California is less evolved than Southern California. They really weren't feeling that.
I haven't spent enough time there, but they got San Francisco. It's beautiful. Oakland.
But all I meant by evolve was like the music industry and
they got Empire.
Right, but I mean, we got like every label.
Well, so you saying they're less corporate?
There's just, if you want to be a successful rapper, there's just like way more shit going on down here. And hey, there ain't shit going on down here either. Like Southern California is cold in general. Hip hop is cold in general. Let's end with that. What's your thoughts on the state of hip hop in general? Because it feels like pretty fucked up from a lot of people's perspective.
It's because the youth don't want to rap anymore. The youth want to stream. They want to be YouTubers. If you go in high school and middle school, you ask them what they want to be. They want to be YouTubers.
Yeah.
And so now they're getting cameras like these and setting up in their room playing a video game, and where they would be rapping or making music, they're reacting. It's a young kid. His name is Slayer or whatever. He's dope.
Yeah,
he's young.
Missing the E.
Yeah, he's dope as But other than that, I can't really name none of the guys that's really crazy that impressed me. That's like night. Because I was just saying, we don't have young superstars.
Yeah.
Where's the 19 and 20-year-olds that are like dope as Somebody said to me, you didn't talk about Nas and Jay-Z battle like this. We was talking about all the other MCs that was going on while you focusing on Drake and Kendrick. Well, yeah, we was talking about Nas and Jay, but we also had all these other artists that were fucking taking over the world at the time, so we didn't have to focus all our attention on it. Now, Kendrick and Drake are 40 years old, bro. They're not kids.
Right.
And all the other artists like Tyler, 35, 30, these guys aren't kids. Where's the 19 and 20-year-old rappers that are going to carry the baton? Let me tell you, they don't exist. They're streaming and being YouTubers.
Do you remember, like, I was thinking about this the other day, is that when I was in high school and my whole life really up until maybe like the last 5 years or whatever, everybody wanted to be a rapper. Like, even the people who had no business being a rapper. There was multiple kids in my high school in white-ass New Hampshire who wanted to be rappers that obviously had no chance. They were never going to be able to be a rapper. Nobody was ever going to listen to them rap. But they wanted to be rappers because there was like almost no other like cool artistic pursuits that they could really even think of themselves going into.
Yep.
And now you've like really gotten to the point where even people who probably have the capacity to be a successful rapper don't necessarily see being a rapper as being the thing that they want to go into. Like if you have that charisma and personality and stuff, you might want to be a streamer or a YouTuber or whatever, you know.
Dog, and then you see, and another thing that's tricky because you see people like you, Joe Budden, all these Charlemagne, all these different people, or you see Cassinet and they making so much money, and you get this thing in your mind like, oh, I'm just gonna pick up a camera and do it, and then I'm gonna make money that fast. Yeah. And once you get into it, you realize that, oh, this is a grind.
I've seen a lot of rappers like fail miserably at streaming. Yeah. But that's the thing about streaming is that people don't even really notice because it's hard to get noticed as a streamer, even if you're very popular as a rapper.
I want to ask you another question.
Sure.
Why are you with Sauce Walker? What's the beef with Sauce Walker?
I think him and Drake might have patched it up, so I don't know if I should even be going in on Sauce Walker anymore because that was at least part of our...
because you didn't like him messing with Drake.
I would say that...
you kind of went low below the belt.
Yeah,
I watched you.
No, he wanted to beef with me, and I don't think it was a wise idea on his part because I just started calling attention to various things that were not consistent with him. But...
Is he not entertaining?
I
think
I'm devoted to not pushing this feud further until he makes it clear to me that he wants to keep going.
You guys would make great content together.
I agree. I've hung out with him over the years, but we never actually did any content together.
You guys would make great content, and it's good. The back and forth is actually good for what you do, and I hope y'all make it up and it doesn't go beyond of anything. That's the only thing that I don't like when it start getting like violent and people want to hurt somebody and people. Man, we got to learn how to disagree without the bullshit.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Sauce Walker, stop killing people, man.
No, he's not.
He's dropping bags on people's heads, man.
No, don't do that.
No, okay.
Allegedly, that's
alleged.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
So do you wear that when you are performing on OnlyFans? Your wedding ring?
I do, yeah.
That is phenomenal, dog.
But I tell the girls, pro tip, tell the girls to take their rings off before you start fucking because I've had my cock shredded by some rings before, and it doesn't.
You talking about
good.
rings in the pussy?
No, I'm talking about like rings on their fingers. Because sometimes the girls will start jerking you off real aggressive, and the rings are like it's like a cheese grater if they hit you from the right angle.
Damn, yo, I can't even believe that you're doing porn. Where have I been? I be working trying to get some.
Yeah, you're in your own world.
Yeah. I'm not a porn guy either.
Oh really?
Nah, that shit stopped a long time ago. Like you got to sit around just jacking off at the crib. When you realize I remember I went to Toronto,
to jerk off,
and they had porn on the regular television.
Yeah, that was amazing when you were younger.
Oh my God, dog! Listen, no, not to put you in my business, but I might have bust like 14 nuts.
In how long?
I just stayed in my room.
Wow,
just jacking.
True gooner status. Yeah.
Oh man, it was. I'm really into the girl on girl. When I was in the porn,
I can't do that.
I love the squirt because
gotta be a
dick. I got the imagination. I put my dick in there.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So I'm just seeing them.
You probably love VR porn.
Oh yeah. But then you can you see I don't want to see no dick. It's only my dick can be there.
No, okay. So I have a friend who he was like basically in this like big mansion or whatever, and he puts on the VR headset and he starts doing it. He starts getting super into it, and somebody walks by the room and they see him wearing the VR headset, just going. He's eating the pussy
that is
in the virtual porn thing. I haven't done it yet, so I don't really know how tantalizing that would be. I feel like I might.
But he don't feel anything.
No, but like. I think sensory wise, like the headset's kind of shaking, and I don't know.
What the fuck is my head doing?
Maybe he's hornier than me, but
that's some real horn shit.
Yeah,
I got like I haven't watched a porn in so long, but like when I would watch them, it's like I'm literally putting myself in the moment.
I feel like I should watch more porn because I don't watch enough of it, given that I'm in the business.
Why?
I just don't care.
What you trying to get like more like skills?
Just to know what other companies are doing, what girls are good performers.
Moves? Are you doing the same shit, or are you like switching it up?
There's only so many moves.
And are you being directed? Like who's in the room?
I'm pretty much directing it.
So you're filming it and f***ing?
No, we have a filmer.
Okay, I was gonna say you like Shohei Ohtani in there.
No, that sucks.
Like,
I don't want to.
You pitching and catching?
Nah. I ain't catching.
So this is a big thing going on in your industry. I've never done this, but I heard Ocho Cinco talking about it. So are you getting pegged?
No.
Have you been pegged?
No.
I just learned about this, that men are actually letting their women peg them.
Some guys like it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
No, me neither.
No, that's not my style. But man, shout out to you, man.
Shout out to all the guys getting pegged out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think if you're getting pegged, you might as well just go ahead and commit to being a homosexual.
Maybe you like women, but then you also like having something in your butt.
Nah, dog. It's a dick.
But I know dudes who I'm very confident they're 100% straight and they like getting their girl to finger their ass or stick a dildo in there or whatever it is.
The problem is a finger and a dick is two different things. I never had a finger in my ass, but when it starts something that resembles a penis, you might as well just go and get the real thing.
Well, this resembles a relatively small penis.
I only know my dick.
It's bigger than that?
I mean, no disrespect. But my dick looks nothing like my fingers.
But you put a bunch of fingers together and
my shit's that's not how my dick looks. They know how your shit looks.
Like the claw.
Shit is on TV. Or like you grabbing the pussy. Yeah.
I still have never fisted. That's something I should do if I want to be a real porn star. Right?
Can I tell you something? I know you got somebody else coming in.
I got pee so bad too, but let's hear this.
This girl, I was on tour. Mm-hmm. She worked at Hooters.
Yeah.
I forgot her name. I remember I put one finger in her ass. She's like, second, 3, 4, put my whole hand in her ass. Took my hand like this. I'm doing this to her shit. Yo, that girl would not go to sleep. I'm not gonna say what tour I was on, but the security, these guys were 6'8", 6'9". Mm-hmm. Niggas is just huge motherfuckers. I sent her to them.
Okay.
They devoured her. When I came, like we would eat breakfast in the morning. When I came down, these guys like lifted me up like I had just won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
They were like, and she was a dainty little petite white girl.
Yeah. And
they were like, man, thank you so much, man. She was an animal. Wow. And I had knocked her like 2-3 times. Uh-huh. She would not. That's the first like woman that I ever seen that was addicted to sex. And she came to me afterwards. She called me in LA and just randomly, she's like, I want to come to LA and fuck all your friends. That's the first time I experienced someone with a real sexual addiction.
You meet a girl like that and you're like, how are you not doing porn?
Yeah, she had a real sexual addiction.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Some of the porn girls I know are like kind of like that. Like they have like that level of interest in sex. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
that is insane. Holy shit. Didn't you guys did you fuck a mom and a daughter together on tour or did they just make out? I forget.
What happened was they were kissing and tonguing each other.
Right.
And they was mom and daughter.
Insane.
Allegedly, it was some things going on with them.
Lil Xan took them down together.
That was allegedly the thing. We don't know. We don't know what happened.
Go Diego.
We're not gonna say that.
Go Diego.
But they were mother and daughter.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And it was crazy. I think it was in Kansas.
That helps explain it. But that is just so mind blowing that exists at all.
2 months. You gotta love the Caucasian women. The dedication.
Yeah, we gotta own that. Ain't no black women doing that.
That's crazy. A mom and a daughter? That shit. I put it on Instagram. You seen it. That's how you know.
No, I remember like talking to Lil Xan about it before. He's someone who blew up and just so much of his attention went into getting pussy.
Can I tell you the dopest thing that he said?
Sure.
I love Diego. One day, I bought him all these condoms. I'm like, dog, you gotta wear these condoms. Man, you can't just be out here fucking. He said, Stat, I want to fuck the girl, not the condom. He's like, he said, I want to be in the girl. I don't want to be in the condom.
Yeah.
If I'm in the condom, I'm not in the girl.
Yeah.
That guy was a genius.
You know what's fun? I have so much shit stored up in my head because I would always be hooking up the rappers with the porn stars.
Yes.
And then like I'm actually friends with the porn stars, so it's not like I'd be asking them for the trip report, but they would just tell me like, oh, I fucked so and so and he was doing this and this, and it would be some weird ass shit. And I still have some of that like lingering around in my head, but
you're a good man for not telling people's business, but you got a lot of shit that you could say. Because these motherfuckers be weird.
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
Once yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it all out. Yo, Stat, thank you so much, man. We should definitely do this again sometime.
Absolutely.
I know,
sure.
Whack. We were talking about doing a whole episode with the Third Verse podcast. That would be insane.
We're gonna do that.
Let's do that.
And with so many Whack stories that we could tell, so many things.
Well, once we start getting into wax stories, he'll usually tell you some more stories about him. So we got to definitely schedule some hours for that.
I have some real stories with Wack.
I bet.
Yeah, some real ones. Ooh, that time when he shaved his eyebrows because he had gunpowder on there at the studio because he had. We didn't get out of that.
What?
You know when you let off a firearm, you got to shave your face.
You do if you want to get away with it.
Yeah, he had to shave his eyebrows.
You can't just wash your face.
Nah, he got all that shit off.
What?
I'm like, yo. Yeah, so when people be like, oh, he's not, I was like, okay, cool.
So many questions.
There it is.
Shout out to Stat Quo. Thank you so much for the interview. Everybody, if you want to go watch some good, high-quality podcasting, go check out the Third Verse podcast on YouTube.
Yes, please like, add, hype, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yes, and follow us on all the socials. And make sure you check out Culture United on YouTube as well, man. We appreciate y'all. Much love. And thank you, everybody here, for supporting this guy. This is a good man, like in real life.
Appreciate that,
like
man.
real life. A good man. He's always been good to me. We've been good to each other, and super solid.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stat Quo. Legend in the building. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, etc. And shout out to our members.
And don't forget the hype.
Yeah, the hype. I'm new to the hype. I don't even really know about the hype yet.
Hype, subscribe. The hype is important.